Listen, can you feel it? Something shifted. The air don't feel the same. Too many masks falling, too many truths walking in the daylight. Justice been patient, now she's knocking at every door. Let's go. It's over. It's over. What's hidden always finds the sunlight. What's planted in darkness always grows toward the light. It's over. The tide done turned. The whole world finally starting to discern. We cried, we built, we stood, we healed. Now look at what refusing to quit revealed. It's over. Funny how silence got louder than the lies. Funny how fake smiles couldn't survive real eyes. Everybody wanted power, nobody wanted truth. Now accountability walking in expensive boots. Used to mock, used to throw stones. Now everybody's scrambling, trying to protect thrones. Light don't argue, it just shines. Truth don't rush, it arouse on time. Respect don't disappear, energy don't lie. Everything eventually meets the most high. No shortcuts, no cheating, no editing history. What's done in the shadows always becomes somebody's testimony. Can you feel that? The atmosphere changing. People protecting peace instead of entertaining. Killing replacing hate, purpose replacing fame. The culture waking up, nothing feeling the same. It's over. No more pretending. It's over. It's over. A new beginning. Truth too bright, can't dim that light. Justice showed up. Now everything's sitting right. It's over. The season changed, the energy rearranged. One chapter closed, another one raised. It's over. Yeah. From neighborhoods to timelines, from classrooms to front lines. People standing tall and speaking with intention. Learning every platform carries real consequences. Less tearing people down, more lifting people up. Less chasing empty clout, more building real trust. Every grandmother praying, every father staying, every child dreaming, every voice saying, enough, hiding, enough dividing, enough pretending everything alright when people dying. And the next generation watching every movie make. Let's leave them something stronger than another fake debate. Who we are, truth, what we want, justice, how we move forward, how we lead together. Boom. Ain't no victory lap, it's a healing march. Everybody carrying visible and invisible scars. Some lost family, some lost hope, some almost gave up, barely stayed afloat. But look now, the sun's still rising, the future looking brighter, the vision getting wider. Real ones never fold and never sold their souls. Stay 10 toes while the pressure made them go. Their respect sounding louder than gossip. Character worth more than popularity. Integrity becoming a new luxury. That's the flex. No revenge, just growth. No hate, just hope. No bitterness, just wisdom. No fear, just vision. It's the dawn of another chapter. Built stronger, built wiser, built together. Darkness couldn't hold us. The truth finally showed us who we are, who we can be. What happens when people choose unity? Fear don't own us. Love still growing, justice still flowing. Keep your head high, keep your light bright. The dawn of a new era starts tonight. They counted us out, but they never counted on the truth. The world changing, one voice, one family, one act of courage at a time. Golden Queen, this ain't the ending, it's the beginning. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Yeah. Internet got everybody acting now. Everybody realtor receipts pop out. Ooh. Whole time, half these wars got sponsorships attached. Facts. Ding. keeping vibes first. Everybody got a story who rehearsed worse. One loud say villain, next string queen. Whole timeline living off clips and memes. Clock it, screenshot, text, crop context, then turn pain into profit monetized. Spinning if you say, let me hear both sides. Now they looking funny cause you think with your mind. Girl, bye. Whole sector built off selective outrage, fake tears, fake growth, fake healing stages. Everybody reach peace till the views drop low, then another fake fallout for the next show. Whole time fat. I don't move with mobs, I observe first. Cause loud opinions don't decide what truth worth. Every villain ain't evil in disguise. Every angel ain't honest behind lies. Preach. I stand on business, not delusion. Have these friendships, strategic fusion. Views go up when a fake beef fly. Then they backstage laughing after live stream night. Facts. Stand on business, 10 toes planted. Everybody tough when attention granted. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Truth don't switch, cause emotions online. Some people don't want peace, they want leverage. Your platform, your audience, your presence. Soon as you distance yourself and move wise, now they online remixing history with lies. Funny how boundaries reveal folks quick. Toxic people panic when they losing their grip. 1 week, enemies next week, friends again. Y'all don't got drama, y'all got marketing plans. Clicks, downloads, chats, reaction views. Truth become optional when money involved too. Everybody scream real to reality sting. Then honesty suddenly offensive again. That part. I just see clearer now. Some people love chaos more than connection. Some people only loyal when they need protection. I stand on business, solid pressure. Can't buy integrity with views or extras. Everybody asking for digital consumption. Whole lot of chaos for online discussion. Stand on business, no pretending. Truth stay truth when the trending in. And I won't fall just to fit online. Cause truth don't pick sides. Truth survive. Truth survive. Survive. Truth survive. Survive. Truth survive. 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 A lot of these friendships transactional. A lot of this outrage profitable. Truth survive. Truth survive. Truth survive. I had to change the way I move before I change the way they see me. Turn me up. Let's ride. Yeah. Let's ride. Hey. I had to clean up my mindset before I cleaned up my image. Can't build a new future, still trapping, no decisions. Every scar left a lesson, every loss gave me vision. Had to stop looking backwards just to see my position. I ain't chasing the noise, I let purpose make the sound. Stop searching for approval when I finally found myself now. I don't need a room full of people saying my name. When I know who I am, I don't move the same. They watch the numbers change, they watch the season shift, but the one thing that stayed solid was the fire in my spirit. Too focused to be bitter, too grown to stay little. Every challenge built my armor, now I'm sharper in the middle. I found my power when I lost validation. Turn my pain into my motivation. This ain't ego, this elevation. Every setback was my preparation. I changed my heart, now my art hits different. I changed my mind. Old conditions. I don't move for the lights. I move because I'm driven. If it don't match my purpose, I don't need permission. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy. Energy. Hey. Every masterpiece started when they told somebody no. Now they watching every level while I'm building my own road. I never had to fake it, never had to play a role. I was busy building something they can never take control. Now Got the speakers knocking, windows shaking, boom. Dreams in motion, no more waiting, no more people pleasing, no more imitation. Queens build empire. Wait, we don't beg for invitations. See, growth gets quiet before everybody sees it. They love the flowers but forget who planted the seeds. I was working in the shadows, I was fighting through the nights. Now I'm standing in my moment and the view looks right. You can question my journey but respect what it took. You only see the chapter, you don't know the whole book. If I change, let me change. If I grow, let me grow. I was never meant to stay in the places that broke me. New mindset, new direction, new energy, new reflection. I don't owe an apology for becoming who I'm meant to be. I changed my soul. Now my voice got power. Changed my vision. Now I'm rising every hour, every setback made me stronger inside. Every mountain built the woman I am tonight. We don't fall, we rise. We don't stop, we shine. I created my story. Now I'm walking in my light. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy. They thought I was changing, I was evolving. They thought I was lost, I was rebuilding. Create from the soul. Create from the soul. Create from the soul. Yeah. Every time I think we finally figured it out. Somebody let pride walk in. Somebody let ego take the wheel. Damn. We're stronger together. Yeah. We're stronger together. Yeah. We started with a vision, lift each other high. Turn these little channels into reasons people smile. Shared every live stream, dropped each other's names. Now we're acting like we're strangers in the game. Clicks over compassion, views over truth. Everybody chasing numbers, who's chasing the youth? Every week another friendship breaking at the seams. How we building kingdoms if we're tearing up the team? We get so close, I can almost see it. One big family, everybody eating. Then pride shows up and the love disappear. Now all I hear is silence in my ear. Damn, why we always fall apart? Damn, who taught us to guard our hearts? We rise together, then divide again. I still believe we can still win, but damn, it hurts to watch. Everybody say we family, till the camera stop rolling. Everybody say I love you, till somebody else is growing. One blessing shouldn't threaten mine. God made enough sunlight for everybody to shine. Somebody getting 50 views, somebody getting 50,000. While we counting blessings like love is running out, then what if your breakthrough was connected to my hand? What if heaven's waiting for us to understand? Maybe the algorithm ain't the enemy. Maybe fear is, maybe competition is. Maybe we're starving for applause when we should be feeding purpose. I ain't perfect, I got scars too. I misunderstood people, people misunderstood me too. But if we never heal, we'll repeat the pain. Different faces, same old game. Children watching, learning from my ways. seeing grown folks scold each other away. What are we teaching? What's left behind? If all they remember is how we couldn't unify. Damn, 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 I can almost hear the future calling. Damn, 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 why we keep stumbling when we're walking? There's room for me, there's room for you. Success ain't smaller because somebody else broke through. One life can start another. One voice can lift another. One dream can wake a nation if we stop competing and start creating. One day, the subscribers won't matter, the views won't matter, the money won't matter. People will remember who made them feel seen, who reached back instead of reaching over. Maybe unity isn't something we wait for. Maybe it's something we become. We're still here. We're still family. We can still get it right. Damn, damn, but I still believe. Damn, 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 but I still believe.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden, and we are back with another live, y'all. It is about 4 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States in the Carolinas. And y'all, it is still raining and dreary outside, but that's okay. We are still having a great day, and I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day in whatever respectful times on your end, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And we wanted to continue this live with the final chapter of listening to an excellent conversation, right? If y'all have not checked out the part 1 and part 2, please do so. But an excellent conversation from the Angie Martinez podcast of IRL, that she was sitting down and speaking with Charlamagne the God, Tabitha Brown, and Gabrielle Union, and they were talking about some really deep things, y'all. And so we was able to have some great conversations about it, and we just want to come back and do the part 3 today. And y'all know, per usual, I have my lovely co-host here with me, Imani. And so I'm going to go ahead and welcome her up to the stage. So what's going on, Imani? How you doing? How you feeling? Of course, you're still on vacation and working at the same time, girl, because you are a hard worker. But how's everything going for you today? Happy Saturday.
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. It's still warm. It's not as humid as it's been, but it is still warm here. I'm good. I'm enjoying myself, getting out and seeing people. Yeah, having a lovely time on holiday. How about you?
That's good. I am so glad you're having a good vacation. That is really brings joy to my heart. Because, child, every now and then we just gotta take a break. We gotta take a vacation. We gotta get away. And so I'm so happy to have the other opportunity to do that. But no, I'm doing good, girl. Everything good here. I'm holding it down on the home front. You know what I mean? But when you speak about being muggy, exactly, right? Because it's been super, super hot, and now it's raining. Like it's been raining the past 3 days. And so, like, when I go outside now, it's not like this hot heat that I don't like that makes me sweat. Now it's this muggy heat that makes me feel sticky, and I don't like that
Hmm.
either. Oh, child, I ain't trying to spend too much time out there. It's not my kind of weather, my cup of tea. But Carlos be trying to get me out there, child, because he love being outside. And so I'll be out there a little bit. But I ain't gonna be out there for too long. And because it's so wet and muddy, I can't really take JJ out there. I don't want him to get all messy and stuff like that. But other than that, we having fun. We playing games and stuff in the house, and things like that on the inside. But yeah, we having a pretty good weekend so far. So, it's good to hear that you are doing well and having fun on your vacation. Um, yeah. So before I get into a brief synopsis of literally what we're going to be talking about on this final part, which is the part 3 of this interview segment and conversation amongst these three, I guess you could say celebrities. Before we get into that, we got to get into the housekeeping girl. So I'm going to go ahead and let you want to start or you want me to start? How you want to do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll just have a quick start. But I've just got one of my little messages, really. Just in general, just what's going on the world, on the world, in the world, on this platform, around the traps, as I've seen it. As I've been, wandering around, doing visiting, and getting it back in touch with some people I may not have seen for a while. Um, and the message that I've got to give is the same as I've been given probably after over these few weeks. One of the greatest lies we've ever been told is that every battle deserves our participation. Every insult does not deserve a response. Every accusation does not deserve an explanation. And every attack does not deserve your energy. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is step back and let life do what life has always done. Some people call it karma, some people call it consequences, some people call it reaping what you sow. Whatever your belief, history teaches us that our choices eventually introduce us to ourselves. And if you spend your days planting division, one day you'll look around and wonder why you're standing alone. If you spend your life humiliating others, eventually your own character becomes the headline. If you build an audience on gossip, is eventually people begin to ask whether you have anything else to offer. And if you spend years trying to destroy someone else's peace, don't be surprised when you discover you've lost your own. What we need to remember is our job is not to become the judge, jury, and executioner. Our job is to become the best version of ourselves, to build, to heal, to protect our peace, to establish healthy boundaries and keep moving forward. That doesn't mean we ignore injustice. It doesn't mean we accept abuse. We document, we report where appropriate, we use the law where necessary. We speak truth when truth needs to be spoken, but we refuse to let hatred become our identity. And here's the reality: revenge keeps you connected to yesterday, healing introduces you to tomorrow. And there comes a point where your greatest victory is no longer proving someone wrong, it's proving that what they did could not stop you from becoming what you were created to be. Your peace becomes your protest. Your integrity becomes your testimony. Your consistency becomes your reputation. And your growth becomes the answer that no argument could ever provide. So, if someone's hurt you, lied on you, mocked you, betrayed you, or tried to diminish you, don't spend the rest of your life carrying them on your back. Put that burden down. Walk forward. Protect your peace. Invest your time in the people who clap when you succeed, who correct you in private, defend you in public, and celebrate your growth without feeling threatened by it. Remember, character is built over years but exposed in moments. You don't have to force that exposure. Time has a remarkable way of revealing who people truly are. And as the old saying goes, everybody eventually meets the consequences of the seeds they plant. Your responsibility is to make sure the seeds you're planting today are seeds of integrity, compassion, wisdom, and truth. So keep your heart clean, keep your conscience clear, keep your standards high, and keep your head on a swivel. And when life gives you the choice between becoming bitter or better, choose better every single time. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. As I always say, if you can't stay for the whole life, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, take care of your neighbors, your friends, check on people. And remember, the greatest form of karma is often living a life of peace, purpose, and dignity while refusing to become uh, what others try to break. And God bless you. And I hope we have a great show. And that's all I've got to say for the start of the show. I might have something at the end. You know me. I do like to wax lyrical.
Lovely, lovely work. I really, really love it. And you speak so much knowledge and wisdom, and I just think it's beautiful. I just love to hear you talk and bring some of those positive messages to the forefront that you do. And you know me, child. I'll be singing my karaoke and stuff. I like my music. But anyway, what I just wanted to say is, there is this song that I listened to once before, and it reminds me of this moment. It's a Neo song, okay? And it basically says in the lyrics that I'm a movement by myself, but when I'm with you, you make me better. That is definitely a lyric to the song. And I just want to, say that I wasn't going to sing it, child, because, I'm a butcher it. But I just want to give you your flowers, girl, because you bring so much strength,
Oh,
clarity, and balance to this space. And, just doing these lives with you, it just makes everything that much more elevated. So, shout out to my girl Imani, my partner of crime. Child, we ain't committing crimes, but I'm just saying we be just rocking it with each other and having a good time. So, it's really a yin and yang type of effect. But I do have some things as well as far as the housekeeping that I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all about. So, golden.
listen, thank you. Sorry, can I just interrupt? Thank you. And listen,
Sure.
Golden, I could not have done this if you'd not given me the opportunity on your platform. You have so much to offer. You are a really good person. You have a genuine heart, and the thing is, you wear your heart on your sleeve. Sometimes I really want to cover that sleeve, really want to cover that sleeve, but you do wear your heart on your sleeve, and you have the best intentions. A lot of the time you're misunderstood with your intentions, and I couldn't do this without you. I really couldn't. And I couldn't do this if you didn't give me the opportunity to come and be your co-host. And that is what I am, a co-host. And literally half the time I don't even know what we're going to be talking about. I speak to Golden, she tells me, "Do you want to do this?" And we have a small discussion about it. She brings this stuff together. This is her content that she was already doing. And anybody who says anything different obviously doesn't know what Golden was doing before. So, she's got a great personality, and she's got a very eclectic mind that loves to talk and research everything. So that's what makes it work. And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, girl. It's 50-50. All right. We both are, we're just lights. We're lights, and we just do what we do because it's in our spirit and it's in our soul. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit on the housekeeping. Okay. So, basically, like I said, y'all, I'll be going on some trips. Okay. I'll be around, I go around, but, I'm a social person. This is a social media platform. I'm very sociable as of lately. I didn't start out that way when I was younger, but as of lately, I'm like that. And so, I get around a little bit and I'll be on the move. But I did take a trip recently And honestly, like, what I would take from that is that it was kind of, in my perspective, kind of wonderful, right? It was a much needed reset for my soul. But if you know me, the journey is never just about a relaxed scenery. It's about real connection. So, while I was taking this trip, I end up having a very heavy, high stake conversation, and it let me be completely transparent. It was abrasive, okay? It wasn't polite, packaged neatly, or wrapped in a bow. Okay. So when you start pulling back the layers on real world issues, key truths, and human pain, it does tend to get uncomfortable. But one thing that I did do is that I sat there and I gave someone a real chance. I genuinely listened and heard this person out, even when it was, against my better, I guess, judgment to do so. Because sometimes we prejudge people or we judge them on one thing, but we never know really all of one person, right? We may know a part of one person. And so I saw a different side of someone last night, and I thought that was excellent. And, we had a conversation that some people may have had some friction in it, but it was heavy. And that tends to happen when we have these deeper conversations. But that experience grounded me in a powerful truth. None of us walk this earth perfectly. Every single one of us carries flaws, misunderstandings, and also biases. But imperfection should never be an excuse to shut down dialogue. If we only talk to people who agree with everything we say, then we aren't necessarily growing. We're just echoing. Despite our differences as Black people, as a community, as human beings across every race and background, we have to find the courage to sit in those uncomfortable spaces. We can learn from together, we can walk shoulder to shoulder towards something bigger in our individual egos. Excuse me, y'all. The baseline non negotiable rule is mutual respect. If respect is present, no topic is really off limits, right? And no bridge is completely burned. I came back from this trip a little bit renewed, focused, and deeply committed to keeping this platform a space for truth, hard conversations, and ultimate unity. I do love everyone, all people, and I'm grateful for all of the people who come here to show me love and support consistently. Whether you join us in the chat or maybe you just laying back in the cut and listening, we appreciate that as well because we can feel your presence. And if you're just in the bushes stalking, well, you do what you do. Hopefully, maybe you carry something good with you when you leave. But that's all I got on my housekeeping before we dive into the topic. Did you have a few more things to say, Imani, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the live?
No, we can just get to the you can give the synopsis of the content. That's cool.
All right, y'all. So y'all know by this time, this is part three. This is the final episode. I guess you could call it the episode, but it's the final wrap up of us doing some commentary and listening to some interviews with, like you can see here, Charlamagne the God, Tabitha Brown, and Gabrielle Union, who had a lot of great things to say in their own lives and experiences that I think was, advice and truths and things of that nature that we all may resonate with or could help us moving forward. And so we have done the part one and part two. If y'all want to check that out, they are available. But this is the part three, and we're gonna wrap it up here. So I think I would ask you, Imani, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Charlamagne again? Do you want to start with Tabitha, or do you want to start with Gabrielle?
We can just go the order we went last time. I think it was Charlemagne, Tabitha, and then Gabrielle. Or what do
Okay.
you want to do?
I mean, that sounds fine to me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
However you want to do it. It's just such great conversations from all three people. And shout
okay.
out to Martinez, excellent platform there. She does excellent interviews. And, we heard Charlamagne say on the part two yesterday that we did that, Angie just has this presence and this personality that just makes people want to open up to her. And she does it excellently. with many, many people. So if y'all haven't checked out her platform, you should. There's some excellent interviews with a lot of probably your fan faves over there. Now, this is one thing that I also wanted to speak on as well. Y'all give me just a second. So, one of the things that I didn't just learn from last night, but I learned listening to this interview, is that, there are sometimes people that can sometimes rub us the wrong way, be a little bit abrasive, problematic, all of the things. But what I think is, the best thing for us to do is to try to maybe see past that sometimes and see if maybe there is another side to that person. Because we have to understand a lot of people just show maybe one side, and especially when they're in a workplace, right? They show up and they have to do their job and they have to be a character or whatever it may be. And then after that job is over, we don't know who those people are after they go home, what they deal with, what they wrestle with, where their mindset is at, and the things that are important to them. And I think with this interview here that I'm about to show y'all, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on the screen real quick. And, per usual, we will listen to it together. And then after we listen to that, we will, excuse me, we will make our commentary in between, okay, as far as the interview. And so what I learned from this interview and what I learned from the trip that I took last night is that, sometimes you got to get to know people, listen to them and really hear them out, have a conversation with them, because one part of them may be problematic that you see on the surface level, but you can connect with other sides of that person. It doesn't, represent who they are as a whole. And I think we should, maybe do a little bit better about, connecting with one another when it comes to that. Because sometimes you just see one version of someone because of what that version is they need to be at the time. And maybe you can see another side of them. But we're going to get into that video in just a moment, y'all. Give me just a sec. I will be right back. Hold on. I think the StreamYard got stuck. So let me just refresh real quick and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, we back. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, let me go ahead and get this popped up real quick so we can move forward. Y'all give me just a second. Let me see if the settings is working now. Okay, they're working better now. Got it. All right. So let's pop this up right here. And what's up, Carlos? Hey baby, how you doing? Thanks for coming in, boo. Thank you for joining us. We're about to go ahead and get into this conversation. So let's listen to it together, y'all, and then we'll do our commentary in between per usual. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and hit play.
Is very meaningful to a group of people. And then it takes the legs of it, a life of its own once you serve it up on a platter to the cesspool. That is,
but here's the thing,
you know what I mean? But you can't really operate out of fear. You kind of got to go. But
I grew up in an era where Donahue had the Grand Wizard of the KKK on.
Yeah.
Like people were going to the jail to interview Charles Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Dahmer ate people.
Yeah.
And people were interviewing him.
Would you interview Jeffrey Dahmer? Yes.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I probably would. Gayle King had R. Kelly on. It's like, I never understood when that line in journalism was like, just we're not doing that anymore. But I didn't grow up that way. I grew up watching these people interview these folks, and you wanted to hear from them.
I've interviewed murderers. And,
that's what I'm saying.
All types of folks. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't see that. I don't see the issue with it.
Yeah. Do you say no to things for those type of reasons ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because to your point, because of the era that we live in now, and sometimes you're not thinking about the person who's going to be hurt.
Yeah.
By this.
Yeah. I do. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I think about the person that gets hurt all the time. It's probably why you can tell Debbie, that's probably why I never put the Pac tapes out. Because I think about the people that are going to get hurt from that. Even the people that are talked about on the tape, how that lands.
Wow.
I do think about that.
Have you ever gone back and listened to those tapes?
Yes.
But so you know, well, clearly, you know what happened to everybody he talked about. I don't even know who he talked about, but.
Yes, there's people who are no longer here, not just big. I mean, there's people in the rap world who passed, and he's talking about him, and not in a way that's helpful to the world. It's just he was angry at the time. He was 24 in the middle of a war, an internal war. Like he, so he's talking shit about everybody. This one, that, and this one, that. Some of those people are not even here. Some, so it's there's just some ugliness to it that I don't even think would be representative of him at this point, but. It's not for me to say. I know people really want it, so we'll figure it out. You'll help me figure it out.
Absolutely. That was Debbie's point. Debbie was like, yo, he was paranoid, angry.
All those
people
things,
just tried to kill him. Like,
and also, if I'm being really honest, it's like not amazing. I was 20. It was like my first.
Stop.
No, listen, it's not a seasoned, evolved Angie Martinez on the radio. It's a brand new Angie Martinez on the radio. There's not a lot of follow-up questions.
How long is the interview?
It's not me really. It's about an hour and 40 or something like that.
An hour 40 of Tupac and Angie Martinez.
Yes,
Come on.
but it's a baby Angie Martinez.
Those
people
are the best
may
interviews,
think.
though.
We'll see.
Sometimes
I don't know. You'll see. I'm going to let you listen to it, and then we'll see.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got that on camera. Let me listen to
We're
it.
going to let you hear it. I'm going to have to find it. No, I know what it is. I have it digitized.
I've always asked about that interview.
I know.
Like even people that I know that used to like go through your stuff.
I
like
hate
for
even
you.
talking about it because now all the comments of this interview, now
like,
the comments of our interview are going to say, release the Tupac
But the people the people who work for you, they love you, so they hold you down like a vault. They be like, I don't know what's on it. I don't know. I don't know.
I also haven't told a lot of people or played it for people. I really have kept it quiet. Wow. I don't trust people. Even people that I love, I don't trust people to hold secrets.
Ooh.
Because I think everybody has a best friend. Yeah. Everybody has a best friend. Everybody has a small circle of people they confide in. Even if they mean well. Even if I tell you something, I pride myself on being a vault. Like you could tell me something and say, it's really important to me to not share this. And 99.9% of the time I really won't because I value that so much.
Word.
But it's part of I deeply value that. I don't know that most people operate through the world like that.
No, I don't know too many people like that. My wife is like that.
And so I think most times when you tell people things, they mean well. Oh no, I won't tell nobody. Of course not. But you got a small circle of trusted people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then those people also have a small circle of trusted people. So I really keep a lot of things very close to the chest because unless it's something I'm comfortable knowing, which is a lot of things. I don't hide a lot. I don't have a lot of.
If I give you my word, I'm not going to do it. If somebody tell me something like, you don't tell nobody. All right.
You're good at that?
Yeah, because if you actually tell me not, I'm all right.
Yeah, I believe that. I feel like I've told you things before and it didn't move.
Yeah, but plus also, who am I going to tell? Like we all know the gossip to share with certain people. Like guess what Angie Martinez told me? Like, why do I care? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
what's going on in your life?
Exactly.
I kind of just committed to dropping the tapes. No.
Yes, you did.
Is that what just happened on the show today? That wasn't my plan
did.
Today. Fuck. We really got to figure that out. Then let's talk about it later.
An hour 40. That might be like an 8-part documentary nowadays.
Yeah. It makes me sad though in general, just because for the culture, like I feel like all our pillars are like, I don't know.
Well, the game need new moguls.
Yeah, we do. It does.
I think about that all the time. That's why whenever I see people like Hov, I always be like, yo, man, I salute you so much.
But at every corner, they try to chop them down at every turn.
But it don't matter. That plane is still landed with the wheels out.
Yeah.
That plane, and that's the point. Like, you want your plane to land with the wheels out.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you feel some of that?
What?
I don't know. Just that pressure to be a pillar in that way. Yeah.
Well, honestly, you just got to do the right thing. That's what I was watching when I was watching the doc last week. That's all I kept saying to myself. Like, how hard is it to do the right thing? Like that's either that's a choice, or humans are more like animals than we want to, realize. Right. Meaning that a scorpion is a scorpion.
Yeah.
Regardless, right? It's going to sting you. If you go into the jungle, the lion isn't malicious.
He's
just a lion in the jungle. So it's going to eat you and you ain't got no business in the jungle. So sometimes I wonder about certain humans. I'm like, that just gotta be in you. Like those can't be conscious choices that you're making to be that way. Like you just might be innately wired like that. I know that I'm not innately wired. Like I ain't perfect, but I ain't them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Not judging, but I'm just saying I'm not perfect, but I'm not that. So I just think sometimes that just gotta be
like that
in you.
That ruthless. It's like a ruthlessness,
yes,
right?
that gotta be in you. Because I think the easiest thing to do is do right by people. You know what I mean? Pay people what they're owed. You know, hey, maybe don't hang this guy out the window. Like there's like there's certain ways that you make choices. I think those are just either either really poor choices or just innately in people.
I think
All right, y'all. So we're gonna pause it right there to take a quick commentary break, and no better time to break, right? From what was being said just in that final moment. I'm gonna go ahead. Imani, do you want to take the lead on this one, and then let me piggyback and speak about some of my thoughts of what we heard in this segment so far. Let me know how you want to go.
Yeah, they sorry, I'm trying to think where they were because they started at about she'd done the Tupac recordings, hadn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the integrity, and we did talk about that on the part 2 yesterday, and that was something that I felt that I took from what she was saying when it came to that, the integrity of being someone. And again, you got to remember she was very young at the time when she did the interview, but even where she is right now, like especially with all the things that's coming up, and all the people that are talking about what happened during that time, she has some inside insight, based off of that interview. She said that she's a person that's like, number one is like, she does not want to hurt or harm people because she understands that if she releases that, interview and that audio, she was thinking majorly about everybody that is involved in what, or who was being talked about at that time when that interview was happening. And she cares about people. And so her choice was to not necessarily just go ahead and put that out there because, come on, if she put that out there, do you know how great and grand that would be for, her numbers, her platform, or whatever back then and even now? But when it comes to her level of integrity, she said, no, I was thinking about how maybe this conversation might affect a lot of people and that individual as well. And so I didn't feel as though I wanted to put that out because it was very tense. There was a lot of information. But go ahead, babe. That's all.
Yeah, no, she was saying that now talking to him, she's encouraged to put the interview tapes around, out there. And then they started talking a bit about faith and purpose and emotional healing. And, Charlamagne talks about how, with maturity, he redefines what he thinks is his success, is his success is rather. Um, and there was a bit of a discussion about being emotionally available rather than guarding your emotions all the time. Have we got to that bit or have I jumped ahead?
It's kind of all twisted in a little bit because they kind of like, touch on that throughout the interview. So you're fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know where are we on the timestamp wise? Because then I'll know where I am.
So we're at 47:53. So 47 minutes and 53 seconds into the interview. And the entire interview, which y'all, unfortunately, we won't be able to play it all here, because we don't want to hold it up too long and make this live too long. But the entire interview is an hour and 19 minutes and 53 seconds long. So,
Yeah,
even within
yeah. So
parts
she was.
time, because of
Yeah, because
our,
I'm a little bit confussed. Maybe it's because of the being on holiday. No, but she was talking about really, she's encouraged to release the interview. They did start talking about no, it's this part was really about the ethics about keeping confidentiality and also preserving important moments. And an interview with Puck is a really important moment. And she didn't, the good thing that I think that it showed that she didn't really want to exploit that interview for entertainment. Um, but the other thing is, oh yeah, I do remember they were talking about Russell, weren't they? The lovely Russell. And she was saying, he was actually saying they shouldn't avoid interviewing controversial figures. Um, but, you know, but she like I said, she was really talking about, and she feels encouraged to release this interview. um and then they start to talk a little bit about faith and emotional healing, and also they talk about becoming better listeners as you get older. But I'm a bit lost as to where we are, because I'm not sure. I think there's a lot overlapping. I probably need to listen some more to what they were talking about, because I don't want to really go ahead of where we are. And if we're only at 47, then I'm in the middle. I'm really ahead of where we are. But you should take the lead on this one. I'm a bit lost today. I think it's being on holiday. Sorry.
Child, it's okay, bro. You living your best life and you all relaxed and stuff wherever you at and having, the best time of your life. And so I understand that. So I just thank you for coming, and doing the work anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, if you're on vacation, child, you ain't supposed to be doing nothing. You're supposed to be chilling and having a good time. And so, you decided to come and talk about this anyway, even while on vacation. But yeah, a lot of things stood out to me. Basically, when we talk, the same things that stand out to you stand out to me as well. But that end part right there was something that stood out to me as far as the conversation about, when you have these conversations with people, right? That is in your group, in your circle. And you have somebody that might defy information into you, or tell you a story or experience or something about their life. Are you somebody who's able to be a vault? Are you going to be somebody who may just be loose with the lips and willing to sell and spread that information, right? Maybe for money or whatever the gain could be that you could get from it. And we got to think about this. Angie Martinez says she did this interview with Tupac when she was just getting into radio. So that means that she was very young. And that means she had a level of integrity about herself, even when she was at a young age, right? And I think a lot of the reason why she hold back from that, understanding the, at that time, right? Like how tense things were, like with the East Coast, West Coast, how things were from the streets. And Angie Martinez, right, is, a Hispanic woman, a Latino woman or whatnot that knows very much about like the streets, the hood, all of that, the culture. And I feel as though she realized that, like, yo, it's very, very tense right now what's going on with this situation, and it's not just about music. Like this is not, it's on some music things, but it's also on some street things. And when you're from the streets and in the streets and you know how the streets work, you don't want to like pour any more gasoline on a fire that's already burning. And so I just feel like her choices from that shows the integrity of her as a person, but also shows the fact that a lot of times you can make those type of decisions because you understand, right? Like the culture, you understand what is actually happening and how bad it can end and how bad it can be. And how even if you do the slightest of just maybe even posting the interview, it can make it worse, not just for headlines, but for lifelines. Let's just say that. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just that stuck out to me. And then also like, I'm saying, being a vote, like having friendships and encounters with people where you have a conversation and you may open up and you may be very, very vulnerable in that moment with, what it is you're talking about. And, you hope that the person that you're speaking with, especially if it's something that's very, touching or something that's very, that you just don't want the public to know or anybody else to know, can you share and feel comfortable with sharing and telling that story to this person? Are they going to be like a vault and hold your story and your venting and your secrets and things like that, whether they're your friend or your associate or whatever they may be? Like, do they hold that level of maturity, integrity, responsibility, and respect for you to not take that and run with it, to the highest bidder? And so we have been seeing, in life that no, that's not always true. And we've also been seeing, like the biggest display of that on this platform is that that's also not true. And a lot of people don't have the capability to do that. But a lot of people do. And I think the ones that do, hats off to them, salute to them. I think that, that's the skill set, I think that shows your character, and your heart, right? Because we got people out here that's snitching on their own family. I mean, let's just be very clear. Okay. So it's just like, this is a person who did an interview with an artist and a person that, she ain't really know or have no relationship with. But all of these years later, even to this day, she didn't put that interview out because she cared about the people who were being talked about in the interview and the person who was holding the interview and opening up and sharing their experience and the things that they were going through at that time. And I just think that shows like the utmost amount of, integrity. So it's just like, shout out to Angie Martinez, for real. Because, you even see Charlamagne now, like, let's get it out now. Let's get it out now. Put it out now. And they may have that conversation behind the scenes and things like that. But I believe with someone who has that level of integrity, we probably may not even hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if she's going to budge when it comes to that, and now it's so many years later, everything is over, it's all squashed and done. Unfortunately, there was fatalities and things that went down that was like very sad, right? For the culture, for the community and all the things. So at this point, and I believe on the part 2, we heard her say, like, what's the point at this point, to put out that audio? Like, what is really the point? It's not like it's going to give any additional evidence or facts or see as far as what has went down. I'm pretty sure if she knows that it did, then that would be, based off of her integrity level, a reason for her to release the interview. But I don't think it's nothing in there that we don't already know and that hasn't already been debunked. So at this point, it's like, it's shock value. You know what I mean? Like, we put it out, it's like, oh, Angie Martinez had this conversation with Tupac all these years ago, and this is what was talked about. Yeah, it was. It was a point in time where that conversation did happen, but now everything is like, and she said that as well, like, with Tupac and many others, they're no longer with us. You know what I mean? So it's like, at this point, and things, seem to have been, speculated or settled into the best ability that they can. And I think people have enough information around what happened and what went down. So those interviews, she's just sitting there like, what's the point now? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything in here that's new or hasn't been said or hasn't been talked about, or, that truth is not there? We can't be sure. I can't be sure. She may release it, she may not. But the fact that she was so young and she didn't, I say salute and hats off to Angie Martinez. But that's all I got for this segment, Imani. You got anything more? Imani, you can unmute. Well, it is late over there.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm about to say, I was about to say, I didn't know she fell asleep or not, girl. I know it's late for you there. We trying to get through it.
No, I haven't got anything more to add. What, we doing some more of this one?
Right. We can you want to play a little bit more of this conversation because they're getting ready to get into some, some pretty good things. And then after I think this second segment or whatnot, we'll go ahead and chop it there. We'll do our commentary, we'll do a song break, and then we'll get into Tabitha Brown. You think that sounds good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let's hop back into it, y'all. We'll meet y'all in the chat. And y'all, don't be afraid of us. We're not scary. You can come and join us in the chat. And, I love y'all. I'll be on the live and in the chat at the same time, simultaneously, because I like to just connect with the people. So y'all don't be scared. But if y'all just chilling and whatnot in the cut, it's all right. But just don't be scared to come in and talk with us, okay? We don't bite. We don't bite. Anyway, let's get back into it. We're gonna listen to a little bit more and we'll do some commentary after.
A lot of it too, not just Puff, but like even just that time and some of our leaders and moguls at that time, they didn't have a lot. They didn't have the clarity of therapy and healing and trauma. Nobody was talking about trauma. Nobody was talking about any of that. It was never a conversation. It's so common now, as every podcast has an episode about some version of that. You have made great strides in having us open this conversation even more. But
I wonder about that too, though, because when I told my dad, when my dad started hearing me talk about me going to therapy and my experiences with anxiety and depression, 2018, he told me, he was like, yo, I was going to therapy 2 and 3 times a week. And,
so you think some people were doing it and not saying that?
Yes. My dad told me he tried to kill himself back in the day. He was on 10 to 12 different medications for his various mental health issues. And I'm like, I remember asking my mom, like, yo, did you know Dad was going through all that? And she was like, I just thought he was playing crazy to get a check. But he was really going through what he was going through, but he never shared that with anybody. So I wonder how many people actually, were doing the work and did know they had issues, but just weren't telling folks.
In hip hop culture, it definitely was not a conversation. Mm-hmm. And I would be really surprised if the majority of people were doing it. I don't think people were doing work. I think people were running around with new power, new money, unhealed, reckless, fighting demons with no kind of, I'm not making excuses for anybody or anything at all, but I'm just saying it was a different time. And some people worked on it and became better. And maybe some people didn't.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's how I was when I was sitting back watching that doc last week, man. All I kept thinking to myself was, I don't want to be that. Whatever that is, I don't even want that nowhere near me. Like, I don't even want to be in that type of mix. But I don't put myself in that type of mix. I've never been an institutionalized person. Yeah. I like going home.
Yeah. But you're also on a journey and a quest to be healthy.
Absolutely.
So that in itself separates you from that situation.
Absolutely. But I also was just thinking about when I was even younger, I've never wanted to hurt people. Have I unintentionally hurt people? Of course. But I've never intentionally been like, I'm going to hurt that person. Like I've never had that in me. Like I never was that guy who could just.
But you were in a place where you didn't care if you hurt somebody.
Well, I was in a place of survival.
Yeah.
And I always say you can't judge people for what they're trying to do when they're in survival mode. Like I was literally just trying to survive. Like when I first got back to New York, you got to think, man, I had just been fired 4 times from radio. I just came off, living with my mom at 31, 32 years old. My now wife was back home living with her parents. Our daughter was like 1 or 2. I just collected my last unemployment check the week I drove back up to New York, to start doing Breakfast Club. I was not going back home. I was not trying to feel that in any way, shape, or form. So in that moment, anybody could get it. Like literally anybody could get it.
Even Kelly Rowland.
Well, no, this was after.
Oh, okay.
This was Breakfast Club.
Oh, it's Breakfast Club.
But Wendy was, and I love that because those are different lessons from life, right? That what I learned from Wendy was don't compromise yourself for a position. Mm-hmm. What I learned from Breakfast Club was don't judge anybody for what they do while they're in survival mode. Because I was just literally trying to survive.
I mean, thank God you made it out pretty unscathed.
I guess.
You don't think? I mean, you're flourishing. Your skin looks great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that took work. But so that's such a great comment because what people thought was success wasn't success to me, which is also the mind fuck, right? Because this is what you said you wanted, right? Like you said you wanted all of this, but if you are doing it, if you get it and you're not happy, like I know I'm not doing right by, my wife, right? I know that a lot of the anxiety comes from this lie that I'm living. Like, like I said, going home, laying next to her, acting like everything is all good. But, another business trip this weekend, even though it was an actual business trip, it's what you do amongst the business. Our business is different, as you know. So it's just like, you can have all of that and not be happy internally. So is it really success? No. Not to me. I don't care what, you got in your pocket. And at the time, I was making more money than I ever made in my life. Like, Breakfast Club is booming. Great things are happening professionally. But personally, I'm like, yo, who am I? And her being the person that knows me better than anybody on this planet, who are you? Like I remember one moment in particular, getting that phone call, early in the morning when you ain't, you in LA, she on East Coast time. So it's 3 there, but 6 something over here. And you getting that call and that woman's intuition. Like, what are you doing? I'm sleeping. What are you doing? I'm sleeping. No, what are you doing with your life? Because you about to lose everything, motherfucker. Okay? Starting with us. Like, oh.
You believed her.
Oh, 100%. That was like that God moment. Like, oh, yeah. Like, you can get, like God will show you these signs. And sometimes those signs are very direct, right?
Yeah.
And you can choose to ignore them and think that you can continue to fly close to the sun or continue to think that you're bigger than the program, and you will be humbled, very, 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 very quick. So that was one of those moments.
You must worship her for getting you.
Oh, man. Worship the ground she walks on all the time.
Yeah.
I say that to her in some way, shape, or form every day. Like literally every day. Because I think that, the Bible is right. When a man finds a good wife, he finds a great thing. And like that woman can be all things to you in a matter of moments. And I literally said this to her last night. It's like, I watched her in the kitchen and it was dinner. And then I ate. And then I had like a cut on my back. And she's upstairs and she put the ointment on and put the Band-Aid on. And then I was, being funny with her. And I'm just like, yo, you were this in the kitchen. You were, this when you put the ointment on. And then if we wanted to, you could be the freak right now. And I was just like, yo, the women are so multidimensional. It's amazing. I literally said this to her last night. Like, women can be so multidimensional that it's amazing. And like, that is a blessing for a man to have. And it's not something that I take for granted in any way, shape, or form.
That's beautiful.
It's just the truth.
Look at you. What makes a good husband?
I'm still learning that. I'm still figuring that out. Like, I don't think that that's something that I don't know if that's something you ever really, truly figure out. Because I think every day of your life, you got to wake up and set your intention and say, yo, I want to be a great husband. And, every day you're not going to get it right. Same thing with fatherhood. You're not going to get fatherhood right, every day. Because there's no manual. We don't
know you much as a father in the public. Like you've been very you share stories and lessons, but you've been very intentional about having boundaries in that area.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Just because I feel like, they didn't sign up for any of this, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like I don't want them to have to deal with any of that type of scrutiny.
Yeah.
I don't
blame you.
But my oldest is 17.
Wow.
And she thinks I'm just a ridiculous person. She don't take me serious in any way, shape, or form. Like, she really does not take me serious. She tells me every day I'm not funny. Like literally every day. You're not funny. You think you're so funny, but you're not funny.
You ain't that funny?
Oh, nah. I got a very humbling 17-year-old.
Oh.
Because she's like very stoic. And she's a Cancer too. So I know she shows her emotions in different ways, but Cancers have that hard outside shell and then that soft interior like the crab, and that's how she is.
There she is.
Yeah.
Charlamagne the dad.
I love it. Like, I don't think there's anything more important.
Hey guys, today's show is brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. Hard Rock Bet is a sportsbook app, and it's a really simple sportsbook app.
Festival, the mental health, it's a
Mental Wealth Expo.
The expo, yeah.
We do the Mental Wealth Expo every October around World Mental Health Day. And I have an organization called the Mental Wealth Alliance, and it's a nonprofit. And our goal is to get 10 million people free therapy over the next 5 years. And we want to increase the amount of Black and brown mental health professionals, because I think
oh yes,
black people only make up like 4%.
Is that right?
Yeah, of all mental health professionals. So I want to get it to at least reflect the population of Black people in this country. So we got like actual goals and mission statements that we want to do. And Dev is she's on the board of that. And we have some like really big plans for the next year. Like, I want
I love that you're doing that because I remember after my car accident, right? And you were one of the, I was looking for somebody to help me with some PTSD. And I called you because you had been doing so much work and been an advocate for therapy and mental health. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for a PTSD. Do you remember this that I called you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some PTSD work. And then I realized, wow, if I'm calling him, everybody must be calling you.
Oh man.
Like everybody must be like, you probably like rappers or music
during
artists.
COVID? Oh,
COVID?
During COVID, every rapper in the world was reaching out. And it was funny to me because I remember one rapper in particular reached out. He was like, man, I'm just realizing I got anger issues. And I'm like, you just realizing you got anger issues?
Have you heard your album?
I'm gonna write the name down. You are just realizing that? And I was like, he was like, yeah, I really want to sit down.
Oh God, you don't even have to finish it. I already see
it. And he was like, I really want to sit down and, just talk to somebody. But I was just like, it was just mind boggling to me because COVID was the time where all of us had to be still. And some of us were really seeing each other for the first time, seeing ourselves for the first time. And a lot of us didn't like what we saw. But that during COVID, I promise you, it felt like every rapper was reaching out, wanting to talk to somebody.
And finding a good therapist is really hard.
Very hard.
So people in their like vulnerable state coming to you must feel, I don't know, not like a burden, but a responsibility.
No, it honestly felt good because it felt good that I was able to point people in the direction. Like, hey, you should go talk to this person. Like, this is a good person that you should sit down and talk to.
How many good therapists are that you can recommend? I guess there's.
Oh, I know a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the conversations that was having around my own, mental health issues and, the work that I've been doing the last decade in this space, I know some really good ones, from Dr. Rita Walker to Dr. Alfie Breland Noble, to guys like Dr. Jay Barnett, Elliot Connie. Then there's people that they can talk to like Jason Wilson. Like there's so many fantastic, people in this space.
What is your number one advice for somebody who's never done therapy and looking to start doing some work on themselves?
Don't give up just because you go there. Because it's not like you go there and have one conversation and then
you're healed.
Everything's fixed. You're healed. Healing is a constant process, right? Like, and you should, just take. It takes a while to really start unpacking. Like, I know I probably lied to my first therapist a lot.
Lying to the therapist is crazy.
But I just know I probably was. Like, cause you're kind of telling her like half truth.
Your version.
Your version. Hey, that's the perfect way.
Because we lying to ourselves sometimes.
That's right.
So you're telling the therapist your version.
That's right.
I don't really. It takes time for them to.
That's right.
And then they be like slow walking you sometimes because they want you to get to the truth. So they don't always tell you. That annoys me about therapists. I like a therapist to get to it. I'd be like,
yeah,
tell me what you see.
And some people you just don't. You might not feel super comfortable opening up to. You might just go to the therapist and feel like, okay, I know I'm supposed to talk to this person, so let me talk. But I'm not, being completely honest about everything. So what good is that really, doing you? That's why I said when I did ayahuasca,
How was that?
It was incredible. I did it 2 years ago.
No fear?
All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and pause it right there. And unfortunately, y'all, I know we have not completed the entire conversation and interview. But that is why we like to shout out to, our resources, where we get the information from. So y'all, please go out and check out Angie Martinez's platform. We will stop the interview with Charlamagne the God right here, y'all, because we do have so many other great interviews to get into. But as y'all can see, I'm posting some links or whatnot in the chat or whatnot as far as resources around mental health, right? Because our mental health is important. And, we had gotten to that point in the interview where, Charlamagne was speaking on that. He has, partnered with and come up with, his own organization when it comes to mental health. I have that in the chat as well, y'all. And I'm putting it on the screen now. But there are many other organizations out there as well, and places as well for men and women, and, of all people, where you can get help if you need help with your mental health. We got a shout out to Taraji P. She also has, partnered with a foundation as well. So all of those websites will be in the chat, and I will be putting them on the screen for y'all. But yeah, we have to, just stop that portion of whatnot of the interview. If y'all want to hear it all the way to the end, please go over to Angie Martinez and check it out. Y'all can hear the rest of it. This is our part 3 and our final part. So while I'm posting the rest of the links, Imani, do you want to go ahead and start as far as, some of your thoughts, feelings, and opinions of what you have to say on this segment of the interview?
Sorry, Golden. Can you just take this for me for 5 minutes? I've just got to take a phone call.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so Imani will be right back. She just got to take a phone call real quick, child. Life be life, and we gotta do stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me when it came to this segment of the interview and what they were speaking about is, which exactly why I'm posting some of these links, is that in life, in this world, us as people, human beings who have been through so much and seen through so much, navigated through so much, and have come out on the other side, and the way I speak about it is I say by the grace of God, but respectfully, I know everybody has different beliefs. We do go through things, and a lot of those things can actually, affect your mental, right? And the health of your mental. And I believe that is something very important for us to pay attention to and really, go and get out for if we feel as though that's something that's not, in alignment, or if we feel like we're off when it comes to our mental, because it's very important. And y'all have to remember when we break down the physical body, right? The neurological system is the brain, right? And a lot of the psychological emotions and feelings that we have, or anything, pain, physical ailments, all of that, the brain sends those signals through the body. So if your neurological system, your brain, your psychological stability, and all of those things is not intact, then that can make a lot of things pretty difficult for you. And it's things that we need to not be ashamed of. It's things that we should not make fun of one another for having. And if we need help when it comes to that, aid and assistance, it's just like if you got a toothache, my tooth is aching, I'm going to the dentist. If you feel as though your brain is, something is off with your brain, your your mental or your psychological, then you need to see the proper, people as well when it comes to that. And that's actually the most important, but it also seems to come last on the list. And it shouldn't, because neurologically speaking, if we are talking about this in a medical way, the signals for anything and everything in your body starts where? Your brain, right? That's neurological. But neurological in your brain also coexists with your psychological. So those two things go hand in hand. So if you're having any issues or problems when it comes to that, you should not be shameful of it. You should not feel like, you are crazy for that. You should not feel like you can't speak about that or go and get help for that. And a lot of people are suffering through a lot of those things for many different reasons. Um, you know, uh in life, because life be lifing. You know what I mean? Life be lifing. But that is one of the main things, the major things. The first thing that gets affected, right, is your your mentality, your neurological system that sends the, signals through your body for everything else, and your psychological state, which keeps you balanced within your feelings and emotions. And so those are things that we really need to pay attention to and not be ashamed of paying attention to. And if we need help with that, there are resources available and we can tap into them. And I don't care if anybody try to clown anybody because they go into therapy or because they feel as though they need to go to therapy. I think that is whack, and don't allow those people to make you feel like that's not a thing that should be celebrated, and that should be, shown to be you a person taking care of your health in all ways necessary. So I have some of those links in check, and I have some more to post. Imani's taking her phone call. While she's doing that, y'all, before we get into the next conversation with Tabitha Brown and Angie Martinez, let's take a quick song break, and I will continue to flutter these chats and resources that's in the chat on the screen or whatnot, in case, whatever. If you need it, you need it. It's there for you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you don't. It's fine. But I think that's our due diligence to, you know, care for one another, look out for one another, whatnot. And these resources are available. So let's go ahead and play a quick song, and I will put some of these links and whatnot up on the chat, y'all, and we'll be right back. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We really appreciate it. We'll be getting into Tabitha Brown and Angie Martinez portion of the conversation on their interview after this song break. Thank y'all so much. We'll be right back.
Soon they got people forgetting folks are human. That part. Every laugh ain't harmless. Every post ain't just jokes. Some people smiling online, crying in real life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Why? You don't know what they carry when the camera done. Broken souls throw stones, then hide they hands. Cowards in comment sections playing God again. Karma don't miss, karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Yeah. YouTube streets messy, everybody got a target. Creators throwing dirt like hate became a market. Mocking people daily, that spirit look haunted. Tell me who raised y'all, this behavior garbage. Laughing at depression, exposing folks' trauma. The next shock when tragedy follow behind you. The evil energy, boomerang proper. Come on, pull up silent like a midnight robber. And honestly, do you watch my live? I talk truth, pain, growth, tears, real vibes. Not everybody built for the games online. Some folks want insult from losing their mind. That's facts, no cap. Y'all did the humiliation. Every live stream feel like public execution. Views over souls, cloud over humans. Then wonder why the whole world mentally ruined. Somebody mama crying at night. Somebody daughter hurt inside. Somebody praying not to give up while bullets screenshot painful life. Shame on you, shame. You need healing too. Only damaged people wake up daily, trying to damage others too. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Tearing them down. You don't know what they fighting when the live stream done. Enough. Keyboard killers acting tough online. Whole time spiritually broken inside. Karma don't miss, no. Karma don't skip souls either. Every hateful seed gon' meet the reaper. So to the hurt and bullied people, listen close. You matter more than these demons online. These chicks bitter, these dudes weird. Obsessed every day, like why you still here? Refreshing my page while pretending you don't care. Whole personality built off hate and fear. Talk slick online, real life timid. Broken inside, everybody can feel it. Projecting their wounds while the comments all cheering. That ain't straight, baby, that sickness concealed. And I said what I said. Yeah, some of these creators need therapy bad. Not another live stream drag. Not another fake outrage cash grab. Yeah. Y'all bully for a living. That's sad. Spirit look bankrupt, dusty and mad. And the people encouraging it just is trash. Laugh now. Karma got a long memory past. Lord, cover the wounded, cover the lonely heart, cover the lonely heart, cover the people crying silently in dark rooms. Teach us compassion again. Teach this world mercy again. Because words cut deep, so deep. And some people never recover. To everybody bullied online, you are not weak because you hurt. You are not crazy because you feel pain. And don't let these empty souls convince you your life got no value. The loudest bullies usually fighting demons they never healed from. That ain't an excuse, but it's the truth. And to the bullies, get help, seriously. This obsession with tearing strangers apart every day, that ain't normal. down and her forever new. No more mama text for entertainment. That darkness got consequences too. Come on, don't miss. And healing still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Enough is enough. Spread love before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late. The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm. A gentle hand to keep a spirit warm. A plate of food, a mind that's free to learn. A simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs to better rock in the base. The sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. 'Cause where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. Yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. They'll take the vision, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life's addicted to the feed, ignoring the hunger, the fundamental need. Nigga love your vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in a ritual page. Now they gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and blown and soul. Everyone with a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. Where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. The other hateful whispers in the loaded gun. You will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the curb. And love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering word. A word of action, breaking leather chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's what you do for me, for them, for us, for you. 'Cause they just a track, just a call to action. For every mother, father, every single fraction of the unity, holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell them that they matter. Tell them this spirit, something that don't lie can shine. That's for the knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn power. Teach for truth. Preach where you let the rules in the fruit. See the fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right to live. Oh. Teach the truth. Preach where you let the rules in the fruit. See the fruit. We are human.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with me with that quick little song break right there. Well, 2 song breaks, to be honest. But we about to go ahead and get into our next portion of the live tonight. And this is the interview, like I said, with Angie Martinez and Tabitha Brown. And she talks about sustaining your blessings and walking in your purpose. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to that, y'all. As the part 3. If y'all have not checked out the part 1 and 2, if you would like to do so, please check it out. I would appreciate that. But even if you just want to listen to the interview on your own and you don't want to hear my raspy voice, shout out to Angie Martinez and her platform over there. You can go and listen to the interview all on your own if you like. But we thank y'all for coming to kick it with us and listen along with us. Me and Imani, and sometimes Mama Warrior Child, she's always in the background. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And then I'll meet you guys in the chat. And like I said, you do not have to be scared of us, y'all. We don't bite. You can come on in if you want to talk with us in the chat. But even if you just want to kick back, and have a good time listening in the cut, there's no problem with that as well. And again, whoever's listening in the bushes, if you want to listen in the bush, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. All right, y'all, let's get into this live. And some more of this commentary between Tabitha Brown and Angie Martinez. And I'll be in the chat if you guys want to talk. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Let me start it over, okay? And they're going to stream y'all the pro. Okay. Let me put it back up there, y'all. Give me just a sec. My bad. I apologize. Okay. Got it back. All right. Let's get into it.
I thought, oh, that was Tab saying that this should be comfortable because the Lord gave it to me.
Yeah.
That ain't what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said weapons would form, but they wouldn't prosper.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes the weapons might hurt a little bit, but they won't prosper.
Mm-hmm. This episode is brought to you by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spot runs on Square. There are certain businesses that just make your neighborhood your neighborhood. Like, who works.
Go vegan. I did it after watching the documentary because I was sick.
Which one did you watch?
What the Hell?
Oh, yeah.
So my daughter came home from school. She was 15 at the time. And she said, Mommy, we saw this documentary at school. I think you should watch it. And it was What the Hell? So me and my husband was like, it was on Netflix. We was like, okay, let's watch it as a family. And they started talking about not all diseases are hereditary, right? Sometimes things run in the bloodline and it reacts to the food because everybody's eating the same food. Mm. So I started to think like, okay, my mama died at 51 of a rare disease, ALS. There's no cause or cure. At the time my daddy was 65. He's now 73 or just turned 74. He's the oldest man to ever live in our family at 73 years old.
Wow.
Right. And I thought
with similar reasons, health reasons.
They have massive heart attacks, strokes, all these, things that just happen and they die young. And so I just thought, well, I've tried every drug the doctor has offered. I even was getting like shots in my head. I was getting all kinds of stuff. I was a guinea pig, but I had not tried that. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll do a 30-day vegan challenge. And I asked my husband, like, can we do it together? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it with you. I was like, because what I have to lose? In the first 10 days of doing this challenge, that headache I had every day for a year and 7 months disappeared.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm on to something, right? So I continued. Even after 30 days, I decided this is going to be my life. I don't know how it happened, but people started to see me different. They would be like, you seem like you just have this light. And I'd be like, I do. They're like, I don't know, your skin is glowing. I was like, maybe it's I'm eating plants, I'm drinking water, And I wasn't a bad eater before. I haven't had red meat or pork in over 30 years. Wow. I'm allergic to dairy like most of us. And I was a very mindful eater, but I was never eating to feel well. I used to eat to look a certain way, which is also a sickness, right? Because now that's like I don't care if it's hurting me as long as I look good. That's not good, right? What I found in being vegan, after healing myself, you start to read more and you start to, do different events that are vegan events, and you get invited and all these things. And then you start realizing like, oh, I start connecting the animal to the food. And I was like, I'll never be the, a person to make anybody feel bad for what they're doing, because I would be hypocrite. Like, I'm the only vegan in my house, right? But I started to do this research about chickens, right? Chickens, because of the high demand for them, they're doing this mass producing of them. They're always in a constant state of panic. They're having panic attack after panic attack. Now, when I was sick and I had manic panic attacks, I ate chicken every day. And so I just started in prayer and writing down and researching. God was like, there's a saying, you are what you eat. And I was like, I was eating manic panic, fear, all the things that I had been feeling. This is my own journey for myself, my own feelings inside. And then I just was like, I also kept on like, I'm going to die. I was eating death every day. Then I started to eat things that were alive, plants, and I started to feel more alive. And I don't know, my mind got more clear, right? But then I had more compassion. I always loved animals, but I never connected them to the plate. It just, because you go to the store, they ain't gonna show you. You go, don't even get a, chicken. There ain't gonna be no chicken sitting there looking at you. Like, it's just gonna be the meat, But I started to see it differently.
See them as animals now.
Yeah, and I would go to sanctuaries and spend time with them. Even with the pigs. Everybody says, pigs are these like filthy animals, right? They're so smart. They're the smartest animal. They will not use the bathroom where they eat. If they're the dirtiest animal, why do they do that? They say that because they roll in the mud to cool off. That's how they get their skin from getting burned, right? But they're also so amazing. You can take a farm pig, right, and put it into the wild, and it will grow hair and tusk to blend in to become wild. I said, say what now? I couldn't believe it. I said,
how you do that?
How you do that? Yeah. Talk about God's creation.
Yeah.
God said, I'm gonna protect you so you can blend in over here. It just blew my mind. Cows are like big dogs.
You were like, I can't eat that baby now.
Right. Like, I mean, I won't eat it in no way, but I just was like, as I was learning, they're just, my dream is to, move back to the South, get me a whole bunch of land and get animals. But I really want a cow so I can raise it like a dog. So I can just show people, like, look at this. Right? They are so smart. They're playful. Like, you see a young cat. Oh my God.
Never knew this about a cow.
Girl, look up cows playing. Okay. Baby, you can do fetch. They'll go get the ball, bring it back with it. It's mind blowing. I be telling my husband all the time, you gonna come home one day, there's gonna be a cow right here in this yard. I'm raising just like a dog, and they can't come in the house. And I got to draw the line somewhere, because I don't know if you can train them to use the bathroom and stuff, and they get big. But they do have those little miniature ones in like other countries. I might get me one of them.
But you should absolutely do it.
That's my dream. One day I'm gonna have them.
And so, how many years now have you been eating like that?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 8 years. Whole life changed. It saved my life and changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful.
Your parents ever?
My daddy went vegan. Him and my stepmom.
Oh, he did. Okay.
For 2 years. And I'm so grateful for the 2 years that when he did go. Right in the beginning, it was March 2018. He was like, we're gonna try it. And it was still new for me. And in October, he had a stroke. And I had to fly home because they were like, oh, they found like this, leak on the brain, all this stuff. They're gonna have to do brain surgery. Like, it was bad. Had to airlift him because I'm from a small town. So they had to airlift him on a helicopter to the next biggest city, to the hospital. So I get there. He's in intensive care.
Scary.
Now, mind you, I was talking to my daddy on the phone. I'm a daddy's girl. So me and my dad, we talk every day. He was at work. This is before he retired. He worked at the mill in the factory. And me and my dad, we have a thing that, we call each other every day. So when we answer the phone, if I call him and he'll say, I'll say, bro, Thomas, what's going on, man? And he'll be like, ain't nothing going on. What's going on, Tab? Like, we just do that. And so I called him, and when he answered the phone, I said, bro, Thomas, what's going on with you, man? And he said, well, I don't know. I'm sitting here at my desk, and I'm trying to write my name. I can't write it. I said, Daddy, you having a stroke? Daddy, you having a stroke? Because the strokes also are in my family.
You caught him in that
moment. I called my sister. I said, go to the mill, Daddy having a stroke. He said, well, I can't have a stroke. I got two. He's also a barber. The barbershop right by the mill. He said, I can't handle a stroke because I got 2 heads to cut today. I said, Daddy, you got to go to the hospital. You are having a stroke. So my sister, I called her. She's about 15 minutes away. She head down. He done left the mill, drove his truck to the barbershop, and he cutting hair.
This is like you on the highway.
Baby, you know what? You right. I'm with you when you're right now. You're right.
This is like you on the highway.
My sister, he would not leave the barbershop. Now, I don't know what them heads looked like when he finished cutting. You sat there having a whole stroke, and you done gave 2 people a haircut. Then he went to the hospital. Within an hour from him getting there and them scanning is when they put him in that helicopter to fly him to Winston-Salem. So anyway, I get there. I had to fly in.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctors come. He's in an intensive care unit. Everybody on this floor has had a stroke similar or less than the one that his chart was showing. They were paralyzed. Some of them had went blind, like literally couldn't talk, everything.
Wow.
He had a slight slur, very slight. You could barely tell he was walking. His hand was like a little bit weak. When they came in, they were like, well, we were going to do the surgery, but when we checked it, the blockage, like it just, like it dissolved and went back into the bloodstream. And I asked, and it was a team of doctors. They were so perplexed. I said, tell me this. If you're saying everybody on this floor has had a similar stroke or less than what my daddy's chart is saying, and they're all in the condition they're in, and my daddy is literally sitting up talking and can walk, is anybody on this floor vegan? And they said, no. I said, and my dad had been eating vegan for like 6 months.
Mm.
And there was one doctor, he was Indian. He came back in after. He said, that is what saved your daddy's life.
Wow.
He said, because there was no, the blood didn't thicken. It was literally it just dissolved back into the stream, whatever the medical term is. And I said, oh, he said, I believe that. He said, that's the only difference. He's eating differently than anybody else on this floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're going to stop it there for a quick little commentary break. So, oh my God, what's so much information? But always from Tabitha Brown, y'all. If y'all are not familiar with Tabitha Brown or you haven't listened to her before, if you want to, if you like what you're hearing here today, check her out. Like I said, she also has her own YouTube channel as well that she, incorporates her children and her husband into for different segments or whatnot of her channel. And she got so many things going on. She got the vegan line of food that is in, like, it wasn't the Target. She shipped, probably had to shift and shop it around to other areas after the pandemic. But, she's got a kids show that my son has actually watched. Tab Time is really good. So child, she just does it all. And I'm just so happy, that she has been able to do all of these things, because for a minute there in her life, as you have heard her say, it was very much touch and go. She didn't know what exactly was going to happen based off of her health, right? And then she's talking a lot about the fact that, within her health journey and things of that nature, she did change up her diet, like she decided to be vegan. And so, that's one of the things that, she is saying, even not when it comes to just her, but also her father as well, when he actually was suffering from a heart attack. One of the things that, saved him is the fact that he was a vegan for about 6 months. And that had a different structure. Eating that way caused a different structure within the body, to which, even when a heart attack or something like that was happening, the body could better deal with it. And, you could be on, maybe the upper hand and not go to fatality when it comes to that. just because of your different eating habits. So let's just talk about a few things, okay? And this is something that I think we all can attest to. How many of us are pushing ourselves way too far? We ignore the chest tightness, we ignore the anxiety, we ignore the body crying out for rest because we think we have to carry the whole world on our shoulders. But what we can see from Tabitha's story here, and it teaches us that if you don't listen to your body when it whispers, it will eventually force you to stop when it screams. So rest is not laziness. Rest is divine wisdom, understanding when it's time to take a break and sit down for a minute. And so we also got to go into a few other things that Tabitha shared. So just as factory farming views animals solely for what can be extracted from them, treating them as tools rather than living beings, society often treats humans the exact same way. A lot of us have been living in user dynamics, jobs, relationships, or social circles that only value us for what we bring to their table. The moment you stop producing for them, they stop caring about you. Tabitha's revelation was about recognizing when someone is being used instead of being honored. And so we have to ask ourselves today, who in your life loves you for your soul? And who in your life is just consuming you for your energy? And y'all, let me tell you, anything that I read and I talk about, trust me, I'm going to apply it to myself. And I'm going to think about it. And I'm going to sit with it. And I have to be honest about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I know I'm reading these things to y'all on this live. And it's not just performative. These are things that I have to apply and realize in my own life. Now let's talk about the factory mindset versus the free mindset. Unlearning survival mode. Something that Tabitha shared. Again, back to the animals. Animals in cramped environments don't know what open grass feels like, so they adapt to constant stress. Likewise, when humans stay in high stress environments for too long, survival mode becomes our default setting. When you've been trapped in survival mode for years, pushing through pain becomes your identity. Peace starts to feel uncomfortable because your nervous system is addicted to the hustle and the crisis. But surviving is not just living. Breaking out of that cage means having the courage to step into a new ground, breathe clean air, and realize that you were made to arrive in this world, in this environment, not just endure it. And also, refusing society's labels, seeing the soul first. So some of the things Tabitha shared and talked about is society stamps or label on a pig or a chicken as dirty or only good for one thing, to justify keeping them in that box the entire time. In the same way, people stamp labels on us to keep us controllable and in boxes for that entire time. People love to label what they want to control. If they label you as damaged, incapable, or stuck in your past, then they don't have to acknowledge your growth or your divine potential. Tabitha showed us that when you stop accepting world's labels, you stop overworking yourself to prove your worth to people who will never really even see it. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that portion of the live. Do you think that, any of the things that Tabitha is saying is true? Do you agree? Have you dealt with some of these things in your own life? Y'all let me know. I'm willing to hear from you. You can say it in the chat. You can say it in the comment section, wherever it is you may want to say it. And maybe if you just want to keep it to yourself, that's fine as well. But let's keep going. We're going to listen a little bit more to Tabitha before we move on to our final part of the live. And we'll be listening to Gabrielle Union, also speaking with Angie Martinez about anxiety and things of that nature. So we'll get into that right after this portion. Let's get back into it.
I was like, well, Daddy, you see that? But then a couple years later, what'd he do? That chicken had a hold on him. He got the rabbit meat. And baby, that's his business. He eat that chicken and that fish, but he don't do no red meat, no pork, none of that.
Maybe it was just that season that was meant to save him.
Listen,
in that season.
it was also, He probably thought he was in control because he was supposed to have been retired. He was working 48 years and was like, I believe I can do another 2 years. Daddy, the mill is shutting down. Ain't nobody even in there working no more. They had laid off almost everybody except my daddy.
Oh my God.
So, but yeah.
He sounds amazing.
He is. He is.
He must be very proud of you in this moment.
He is. And I'm grateful that I made him proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he seen the movie?
He hasn't, not yet.
Okay.
And I was trying everything. I'm here, of course, and then I got to go to Alabama this weekend. So I wanted to go home to North Carolina and watch it with him, but he gonna watch it. They're gonna watch it this weekend.
I'm so happy. Congratulations, my love.
Thank you.
You work for it, and it's here, and it's gonna happen every year. You're gonna have
it's
a
gonna
holiday
happen every year. Okay,
every year.
Come on, unexpected Christmas. Okay,
yeah, there it is in real life. Tabitha Brown, everybody.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Hello there. This is Tabitha Brown in real life.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and check out all of the other episodes we have on Angie Martinez IRL podcast.
Woohoo, y'all. So we made it to the end of one of them, child. We made it to the end of one of them. But yeah. So, Imani, hey girl, you back? What's going on, girl?
No, sorry, I had to take a call. You finished off the Angie Martinez, yeah? Not the Angie,
the one with
Tabitha Brown.
Tabitha Brown. Yeah, the one with Tabitha Brown. We were at the end of that one because that one wasn't as long. But yeah, we just finished that one just now. But you can go ahead and run it back. I know you was on.
All I'll do, because I know you did it over 3 days. But I'll just give really what my thoughts were on the whole interview, and I think it fundamentally, this interview, it's a conversation about authenticity, obedience, and living with purpose. And rather than focusing on, kind of celebrity success, Angie kind of explores how Tabitha transformed her life by embracing her faith and surrender and her authentic identity. And really, the authenticity is what runs through this whole interview. And if you haven't seen it, please go and see the whole interview. Please go and subscribe to Angie Martinez. She's got some great interviews over there. Because what Tabitha's saying is that she tried to conform to the entertainment and industry expectations by code switching, hiding her southern accent, becoming the person she believed that others wanted. And she believes that by doing this, she was really abandoning herself. And it made her exhausted and tired trying to be all these things, and resulted also in physical illness. So when she decided to embrace who she truly was, her career started to flourish. And there's also a lot about faith in this interview. She talks about prayer, she talks about spiritual experiences and what she believes is God's guidance in her life. She describes, she talks about surrendering control during a period when she was seriously ill. And she says that, her obedience and her faith opened doors that she never expected, including the social media videos that ultimately made her an international star. And also, she talks about her marriage and relationships, and she talks about finding a balance of caring for others whilst caring for herself, which is extremely important because, we always talk about this thing about if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And if you don't care for yourself, you never have the strength to care for anybody else, because you have to really do the self-work and self-care in order to have the strength to give, to others. And so, it is important not to love too much and give away too much of yourself. But, relationships are hard. And she talks about, communication and having unrealistic expectations of your partner. And that was another theme that was running through this. And also healing, she talks about health, veganism, motherhood. You know, there's so much in this interview that you can get. So if you haven't seen the whole interview, go and see it, because she is really, the interview is uplifting and reflective, and it's deeply personal, but it's not full of motivational slogans. She is presenting a message about all aspects of your life that you have to look at. And the main thing she talks about there, I mean, authenticity does run through it, but she also talks about self-help, self-care, faith, and, you know, stop living for other people's expectations. I think it's a really great interview. I think you can take a lot from a lot of Angie Martinez's interviews, because she allows people to really be their self, as we saw with Charlamagne in the previous interview and this one. And that's really what I got from the whole interview. Is that okay?
Girl, you know it's always okay, child, when you break it down like that. But absolutely, you pointed on every single portion of that interview, because we were able to make it through from beginning to end. And I couldn't agree more. I absolutely agree with all of it. Like, and there's certain things, you know, we could pick apart and point out and stuff, but we don't want to keep the people too long. We already are reaching almost the 2-hour mark, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and play a quick little song break. And we want to hear a little bit more from Gabrielle Union, also sitting down with Angie Martinez. And she's the one who's gotten the less playtime. So we're going to let some of her video rock a little bit longer on this final live that we'll be doing on this, you know, and pull from that. So let's go ahead and play a song real quick, y'all. We'll be right back. And after we come back, let's listen to what Gabrielle Union has to say. And I will give you guys a brief synopsis on that as well once we return. Let's go ahead and rock it out with a little boppy, bop, bop, bop. We'll be right back, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. See you in just a bit.
I had to change the way I move before I change the way they see me. Turn me up. Let's ride. Let's ride. Hey, hey, hey. I had to clean up my mindset before I cleaned up my image. Can't build a new future, still trapping, no decisions. Every scar left a lesson, every loss gave me vision. Had to stop looking backwards just to see my position. I ain't chasing the noise, I let purpose make the sound. Stop searching for approval when I finally found myself now. I don't need a room full of people saying my name. When I know who I am, I don't move the same. They watch the numbers change, they watch the seasons shift, but the one thing that stayed solid was the fire in my spirit. Too focused to be bitter, too grown to stay little. Every challenge built my armor, now I'm sharper in the middle. I found my power when I lost validation. Turn my pain into my motivation. This ain't ego, this elevation. Every setback was my preparation. I changed my heart, now my art hits different. I changed my mind. Old conditions. I don't move for the lights. I move because I'm driven. If it don't match my purpose, I don't need permission. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy. Energy. Hey. Every masterpiece started when they told somebody no. Now they watching every level while I'm building my own road. I never had to fake it, never had to play a role. I was busy building something they can never take control. I got the speakers knocking, windows shaking, boom, dreams in motion. No more waiting, no more people pleasing, no more imitation. Queens build empire. Wait, we don't beg for invitations. See, growth gets quiet before everybody sees it. They love the flowers but forget who planted the seeds. I was working in the shadows, I was fighting through the night. Now I'm standing in let me change. If I grow, let me grow. I was never meant to stay in the places that broke me. New mindset, new direction, new energy, new reflection. I don't owe an apology for becoming who I'm meant to be. I changed my soul. Now my voice got power. Change my vision. Now I'm rising every hour, every setback made me stronger inside. Every mountain built the woman I am tonight. We don't fall, we rise. We don't stop, we shine. I created my story. Now I'm walking in my light. Hey, 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 pivot. Elevate, elevate, create. That's the energy, energy, energy. Pivot, elevate, elevate, create. That's the legacy. They thought I was changing, I was evolving. They thought I was lost, I was rebuilding. Create from the soul, create from the soul, create from the soul.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with us with, through that quick little song break or whatnot. And we're going to get into our final topic in our final video for the live, y'all. And so as you can see here, we're going to be getting into Gabrielle Union sitting down and talking with Angie Martinez and Imani. Go ahead, girl.
No, sorry. Did I unmuted the mic? But that was an accident. Yeah. Whereabouts are we? About 15 minutes in?
Let's see. So for Gabrielle, we're about 17. Let's just round it up to 17. It's about 16 minutes and 56 seconds. So we'll round it up to about 17 minutes within the interview. As I said, hers got kind of a little bit of the least of play. And so I just wanted to play a little bit more of hers today. We're going to try to stretch this out. So I guess 2 hours and 30 minutes and get the people out of here, child. It's Saturday. And people got things to do. But everybody who has come to listen, and join us, we really appreciate it. It's some really great conversations. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with it. And so we'll start from there. Did you have a few things you want to add before we get started?
Nope. Let's just get to listening.
Because I know it's late there for you. It's late there. So I got to get you out of here too, girl. All right, let's get into it. And we'll meet y'all in the chat.
You're going to find somebody to tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to read something that someone said that you actually feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And you'll spin out. And you're, oh my God, am I that transparent? Like, are people seeing every flaw that I feel like I have?
Mm.
And it could ruin your day, it could ruin your week. And now I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
God bless.
It makes me realize how brave you are, though, because you've made choices in your own life. You've made choices. Your family has made choices to live their lives truthfully and publicly. So to know that it would affect you that much, but you still made the choice
because I
live in truth.
I may have been a prisoner to PTSD, but I will never be a prisoner to the fuckery. I won't.
Mm.
I'm one of those see something, say something people. I need the freedom of truth. I need the freedom to tell the truth, to hear the truth, to hold your hand when you're dealing, you know what I mean? But if I'm in that other space of pretending and always, having to be on, it doesn't really allow for you to be human.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm just not willing to go back. It feels too
good for you.
being.
Did I just kick you? Sorry,
no,
boo-boo.
It feels too good to be fully in my body and fully present. And so no matter how hard it is, no matter how many times the FBI calls you and it's like, you and your family are on a hit list.
Is that a real thing?
It's absolutely a real thing. But that's what comes with truth telling, but there's also that other price to pay. But I can't be put into a gilded cage. I don't know. I watch too many people that I know and love who have so much to offer and have so many amazing things to say, put themselves in a gilded cage.
They're afraid. Yeah.
Definitely afraid. I mean, and there's things to be afraid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Death threats are weird. It's a weird sensation. And it's like, if it's just me, but my baby has to die, that's something. And I don't think people really understand the weight of truth telling in this day and age.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Being at trying to lead from the front all the time. I mean, the first one to the microphone, the first one who says something, the most, fierce and ferocious advocate and activist. And then my health took a big hit. It took a big hit. And for years, it took us a while, process of elimination, to figure out what was actually going on in my body, and that I was being ravaged by an autoimmune issue that is exacerbated by stress and anxiety. And it was just me always feeling like I gotta always be 10 toes down on everything. I was dying slowly.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, for a long time, we didn't know what exactly it was. So it's like MRIs and scans and biopsies and this and that and the other. And like, you're, waiting for the results, and they're like, well, it's not cancer. You're like, okay, well, what is it? They're like, it's a mass. You're like, oh, okay, thanks. Insert more anxiety, but I'm supposed to not have anxiety, so I'm not inflamed.
Happening recently?
It's been the last 4 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So finally, again, kind of close to like October, getting on the right medication to deal with, some of these issues. But when you're in it, people don't understand, like, inflammation, crazy inflammation can literally make your face look like a circle. Like, and it's not going to be the most symmetrical, like, you know what I mean? So it could be bigger over here, or this could be bigger, or this part of my lip is swollen, and they're like, bad filler. And I'm like, or I'm slowly dying. But get your jokes off. Get your jokes off. Oh, she's ruined her face. And then now people see me and I'm like, I'm just not inflamed. My body is not trying to kill me. And they're like, oh, she's let it settle. I'm like,
get out. Okay. First of all, stop reading the damn comments.
Okay.
Stop reading the comments.
You
don't do it. You don't live that way just for you too. Like, as how you say, you step out, you're advocate, and you stand for so many things. Also, I think you guys as a family have done that, right? Like, you've made a conscious decision to stand in your truth about private things, relationship, your marriage, your surrogacy, so many things about your life. You've been on the front lines, kind of like presenting as, hey guys, this is okay.
It's okay. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to throw your children out, if they're not exactly how you imagine them to be. Talking to people, and they're like, what will my family say? What will my church say? What will these people say? And I'm like, that's your child.
You mean of trans or
trans kids, queer kids, family of doctors, kid wants to be an engineer. And it's like, this isn't life and death.
Yeah.
It's still your baby.
Yeah.
You love them.
Support them.
You're supposed to be the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Not the hell that they're escaping.
Yeah.
But it could be literally about anything.
Yeah.
And right is right and wrong is wrong. And to me, it's not that hard, but I understand when people don't.
Yeah, because there's a price.
There is a price. You may not work again. Your life may be threatened. Your family's lives may be threatened. And you may not be well-versed enough to lead the charge, but there's other ways of participating in resistance. I talk about leading from the front, leading from the middle. You could be an organizer, keeping all of us together in the middle. You can be pushing from the back and holding the line. You don't have to always be front facing. And, but in this day and age of performative activism, it's like, if you didn't post it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
In our situation, because of, I don't want to hear from the FBI anymore about which group we're on a hit list on. I move differently, and you may not see or hear about every move, but me, my heart. I think my history speaks for itself, and my reputation speaks for itself. But also I needed to get better. When they say you got to put your oxygen mask on first, and then,
man, so living this way was literally eating away at your body.
Yeah, like I can't be in that state all the time, and I don't have control of every situation. Like, El Boog was on your show. Lauren. El Boog.
We love El Boogie.
I watched that episode like, oh, gems. And I was hitting Lauren. I'm like, yo, when you said this, and that, she's like, okay, I'm going to come over and we're going to sit in your backyard and we're going to talk about this. And
what was it?
Well, it's about like the control element, the need for control, and feeling like you always have to chime in or offer advice. And is the advice really for the other person, or is it for you to have some control, some semblance of control, trying to control situations?
We talked about that.
Child, I'm gonna stop it right there. Wow. All I can say is wow. And I just want to tell y'all, like, when I listen to these interviews and these conversations, I listen to them because I get something from them, right? Something that I can apply, something that I can like tap into and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, can you do a little bit better? Like, what's going on with you? Talking about myself first, not anybody else, right? Oh, that final part right there that she just said, and we'll go on to some more in just a minute. And then I'll tap in, you know, my lovely co-host Imani and see what she took from this segment as well. But one of the things that I tap into is I have to sometimes sit with myself and also be able to be open to listen to the people who care about me that are around me and the advice that they give me. So as far as like how I move and I operate, sometimes people give me feedback about how I come off, right? On this platform, on a phone call, anything like that. And, you know, I will fight tooth and nail and tell these people, like, yeah, you don't want to talk about this is who I am, this is how I am, this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I'm really like that girl. And, you know, that's annoying. And so I'm trying to work through it, y'all. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. But the thing that she said is just like always totally being in control, like of things that's going on around you, the spaces that you're at, the narrative that is made about you or, you know, created about you. Like you always have to be in control of that, you know? And that's something that Gabrielle was just saying like this, that she had to learn that that's kind of how I operate. You know, I have to control everything. And I think for myself, if I'm going to be honest, I may operate, oh God, child. When Imani come out, she's gonna say not May. But anyway, I think I operate that way. I feel like I operate like I always have to be in control of every space and place that I'm in and narratives and things like that because, well, you know, yeah, there's some things that we can take into consideration as to why you feel like you have to approach the situation that way because a lot of things, you know, in the games and stuff that's being played, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But when you go through that, and then not just here on this platform, but just in your life period, you feel like you have to take control, like of everything, especially when it comes to you. And sometimes when you do that, you know, you come off abrasive to people. But that's what stood out to me, Imani, in this segment. What stood out to you? And girl, child, you want to, you know, piggyback off of what I said, my realization.
Listen, this is look. I think there's a big difference. You see, one thing I've learned in life, and I think too many people care when people tell lies about them. You see, I don't care when people tell lies about me because I know the truth. I'm not bothered about people's opinion of me unless it's somebody I really care about who knows me really well. I think the problem with especially with the growth of social media, is too many people care about what people who don't even know them from a bar of soap say about them. See, I'm completely different when it comes to that. I only care about the people who are close and around me. So I don't try and control people's narrative. And as we've seen, people have a lot of spins on stuff. I only care when I care about people. So if I upset somebody who's really close to me, I care. If I upset someone who I don't even know and doesn't know me and wants to lie about me, I don't get trauma about it because I know the truth. And I think this is what people have to get into. And when you're talking about, yeah, I do hear that control element. I don't need to control spaces that I'm not welcome in. I don't go where I'm not welcome. I don't go where people talk badly about me because I don't think I've got anything to defend unless you're paying my wages or you're paying my bills. You're not paying my wages and you're not paying my bills. I don't give a shit what you say about me. I really don't. And I think what has happened is people have become so hyper focused on the minutiae and not the big things that matter, which gets them into this state where they're making themselves ill because of little gremlins wandering around who have nothing better to do than troll and say nasty things about people. And when people are like that, the thing that I think about is what's going on in your life why you need to be like that. Because to the point where she's talking about you know, having, you know, PTSD and getting ill over hypervigilance on everything. I really don't. I really don't absorb it. And some people say, you know, aren't you bothered? No, I'm not. I'm not. If the person is not my people, I don't give a flying F what you say about me. I don't give a F if you lie about me. I give an F if I've had a conversation with you and you misrepresent me, then I will check you. But a lot of this stuff where people are so into online criticism, and I know it's when you have a brand, it's different. But when you have, if you are so focused on everything, that just saps your energy from the things you need to do. And I think it's what she was saying is living truthfully is more important than your image. I mean, thinking about death threats, thinking about, you know, FBI warnings, all of those things, you know, I know my truth and no one else can tell my story but me. And one thing I do is I know what I say, when I said it, and how I said it. And I'm quite happy to stand 10 toes down in what I say. But people having an opinion of what I said and how I said it, if they're not close to me, meh, not bothered. So, she's had a lot of, backlash and all sorts going on in her life, also about the child and various other things that people put their nose in that they don't, where it doesn't belong. It really doesn't belong. So, and a lot of that comes from unresolved trauma that triggers. People know your triggers. When you have unresolved trauma, a lot of people know the things to say to trigger you. See, people can't tell lies about me because it doesn't trigger me. Because I don't care. If you're not my person, I don't care. But people know the triggers that you have, so they poke at them again and again. And that is why I don't focus. Many a time you'll tell me things that have been said about me, and I'm like, yeah. But if it's something that I think I need to address, I address it. If it's important enough for me to address, I address it. But if I don't think it's important, I'm not going to lose energy over it, because a lot of these people who do these things are energy vipers. They want to suck your energy. They want you to focus on them. They want to get a reaction about certain things. And sometimes if someone misrepresents what I'm saying and they don't understand, I think sometimes in the end you will understand what I've said. You understand what I said, and I just don't care. And I think it's really a shame that it's getting people to the point of being ill because of what people do and say. It's madness. And then when they don't get the attention they want to threaten your life. What are we doing here? This world is going crazy. This world is going absolutely crazy. And that's why I said to you, I don't deal with internet gangsters. Deal with me when you see me face to face. If you're not going to deal with me when you see me face to face and keep that energy, I'm not interested. So I do think protecting your peace is really, really important. And I keep saying this to people, protect your peace. You don't have to have arguments about things that you never said and you never did, especially if it doesn't matter. If that person doesn't matter to you, or that person is not important or is not of impact in your life, you don't need to engage, because you spend so much time telling people that I didn't say this and that's not what I meant, when you could have been doing other things and enjoying your life. It really is. It must be really difficult, to be, a high profile person and have to deal with that. I'm telling you, my social media manager will be busy saying she don't care if it were me. You know, I don't know why people are so concerned, and especially about people's fertility, people's children. That is my biggest bugbear. But no, I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes we just have to stop being caring as much about what other people think about us and controlling narratives that are really unimportant. Because most of these narratives that people are spinning are very unimportant. They're not really who we're about. They don't know us. So that's where I am with that. But yeah, I do get that with you. Yeah. And sometimes I think there's a lot of energy spent trying to correct a narrative that people, as soon as you correct it, they will say, yeah, but you said this after you correct it. What do you mean by that? Then you spend another hour trying to correct something that someone else has misunderstood. Me, my line is, I don't give an F.
Right, right. You know what? And I love that so much about you. I love that about Mama. I love that about Carlos, because y'all are all individuals that operate that way, And I think that I can take a lot of lessons from y'all when it comes to that. Just like you had said, everything you was just talking about just now can be further from the truth, right? Like I feel like it would be more beneficial for me if I'm able to adapt some of those principles and the way y'all operate into my life, because I would have a lot less stress. I would get a lot more sleep, and I would care so much less about what people say. But I had to think about it and really like sit down, like after I have these conversations with y'all and whatnot, after the conversation is done, now I have to sit with what I heard, by myself. And I have to really think about like, the things that they're saying is actually true. Like I have to be honest about that. Like I really care what people think about me. I really care what people say about me. And those things get under my skin, whether it's true or it's not true. I just don't like nobody telling my story if I'm not telling my story. That bothers me. Like I don't think anybody else can speak on my life or tell my story better than I can do it. And when I see, on this platform specifically, people who attempt to feel as though they can do that just because they think it's their right or whatever, or that's their content, it really boils my blood, because I don't like anybody speaking on me, my family, my predicament, anything like that, that doesn't know me, that I haven't talked to, and they're not telling it right. That really bothers me. Like, if you're going to tell the story right. I'm very much like that. Like, Don't read a book and tell a story and then just make up stuff in between the pages and the chapters and put your own little zest in there. And you're not reading the story for what it really is, you know? Like that's really bothersome to me. It really boils my blood. You're not going to tell the story, especially if it's my story, the wrong way. And you basically saying it's just like, you know, you got to get to a point where you let those things go and you let them kind of just like roll off the shoulder, because it's like, you know, as long as you know what's the true story, what does it matter what anybody else says? And I get that. I really get that. But the problem is we are on a platform and we are in a space where people unfortunately don't care about what the real story is. They care about who their favorite person's version of the story of you is. So whatever their favorite person is and their version of a story about your life that they tell, these people eat it up like cake. And I just think like, and then once they eat it up, then they go around throwing it up and everywhere else that they go. And I'm just like, yo, that's one thing that really grinds my gears, because I'm just like, yo, that is not true. That is not my story. That is not who I am. Like, I don't like to hear people going around regurgitating. That's what I call it, regurgitating a rendition of the truth about my life on all of these different platforms and around all of these different people, and basically defaming my character. That's what I feel like I see it as. Because you're trying to run around with this narrative and narratives about me and my character that's not true. And basically, like, I don't know if you're giving out free samples or I don't know if you're selling it to anybody who will take it, but it's not authentic. Like, why would you buy counterfeit jewelry when you really can come over here and get the real gems? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. And that
No,
always
but you
bothers
see,
my
Golden,
blood.
they don't, sorry to cut you, they don't want the real gems. You see, the reason why I really do maintain silence a lot of the time is because I have always been of the opinion that empty barrels do make the most noise. So someone can go and regurgitate a whole story and narrative, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, as I've said previously on this platform. And they keep talking until they're out of breath and you haven't said a word. And then what happens is people then look at the person who is not talking, who is not saying anything, who is going about their business quietly, who then fires the little silent pellet that makes that person sit up and take note. Because I don't believe anybody, some of the things that happen, especially on this platform, what people do is people start to play. I don't play the game, I play my own game. And it's not that this is a game. I play on my terms. I don't play on other people's terms. When you're the one who gave me the ludicrous track. It's when I move, you move. Because you're not making me make moves because you want me to play a game your way, because you want to have drama. And a lot of people on this platform do everything for the drama and the content. And some things are very serious to me. Just like someone talking the other day, and I made a comment. I made a comment under another content creator's post where a so-called high-profile content creator is using DV as a drag. And yeah, I'm thinking to myself, is this where we are now? That we would talk about domestic violence to drag somebody, and you call yourself a high-profile person? I mean, this is why I say you're not even on my child's level that you would do that. Therefore, you don't warrant any attention whatsoever because you're low. You're low and your mouth has always been trash. And to give you a clue, you tried to throw your coochie at an old man for oxtails. So why would I even get in the ring and start talking to you? Because you could say something about DV and think that that's a flex. This is what I do. I look at the person who's coming with the information and think, does that warrant me to even give it my time to respond? No. Therefore, why am I going to talk about that? Because look at where that person is coming from. Look at what they're using. So why are
Right.
you going to get any truth from that quarter? And there are many people, many more people, not just that person, many more people like that on this platform who have nothing better to do than upset other people because their lives are in the bin and they're trash. Their life is not worth talking about.
I
So
mean, if you soliciting your body parts for oxtails, your life got to be in the trash, right? Like, I mean, that's the way it's
and
supposed to go.
also the point is to trigger you, because guess what? When they trigger you, that makes them feel better about their sorry little lives. And that's why I say there's a lot of people. I see people doing backflips, somersaults. There are people on here who are talking about racism when they have people calling them the N word with a hard R. I mean, what are we doing here? It's like the upside down world. This is why I don't listen to half of these people, because one minute they're for someone, and I saw this with a gentleman yesterday. One minute they're against someone, the next minute they're for someone, the next minute they flip and they want to drag them, next minute they want to call them a narcissist. You look, listen, there's so many, these people are bipolar without being bipolar. So why am I going to
Right.
bother to get in a race with them?
I wanted to
Why am I
be
going to bother?
very, Imani, real
Sorry?
quick. I wanted to be very clear. I just want to talk about something real quick. I wanted to be
Mm,
very clear about the trip that I took. Okay, I took a trip. You know, I took a
yeah,
trip. I took a.
yeah.
I take a lot of trips.
Mm,
I want to be very clear about a few things. Okay. Now, number one, what I want to be very clear about is anything that I come out of my mouth and I talk about and I say, best believe I have research behind the things that I'm saying. I say it in a
mm,
certain type of way in some spaces because people, I mean, child, I can water it down and then people say, oh, you think that you're smarter than people. No, I don't think that I'm smarter than people. I read, I do research, I care about the topics that I'm talking about. And so I put in due diligence to find the truth behind those topics, right? So when I come to be able to have that conversation, best believe I have all of the backing behind it as far as me speaking on something. Okay. Number two is, like you said, Imani, these people don't care about the truth. They don't care about education. They care about, clicks, likes, and views and clout. And if you pay attention to what these people say, you can clearly hear that that's what they're about and that's what they do and how they move. And so all I'm saying is, look, I try to have conversations with people. I try to give people probably too many chances than I should give them. But all I would advise the people to do is just listen closely. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take my word for anything. You don't have to listen to Imani, and you don't have to take her word for anything. Listen to the individuals. Listen to what they say out of their own mouth. And you basically can see what I am saying, how people move and operate. If I call it out, people going to say I'm a liar. If I call it out, people going to attack me and my family. If I call it out, all hell going to break loose, right? But I don't have to call it out. Just listen for yourself and listen very close. Pay attention to the things that's being said, the important things that are being said, not the unimportant things, not the things that just make you hee hee ha ha and have a tickle in your belly. Listen to the serious things that are being said when it comes to individuals that speak. And then maybe we can have a conversation, right? Because I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to continue to argue with people who are not looking and listening to things with common sense and rationality. And
But
I'm done
here's
with
what I
that.
would say, Golden, about you. Here's what I would say about you. You say what you say, and you don't need to say anything more afterwards. You don't need to justify. I always say I said what I said, unless I actually made a mistake and told a lie or spread information, I'll come back and correct it. You don't need to explain half the things that you do, but you do, because you're that type of person who wants to make sure that no one has a misunderstanding about you. I just say sometimes care less. That's all. Because I care about I there are things I care about, and I care about the people that I'm close to. There are some people I don't give a F about. I've said what I've said and the way I've said it, and that's it. That's all. And unless I've lied or I've told something that's totally untrue, I'm not going back. I'm not explaining. I'm not having talks about it. You know, you can read it, write it, replay it, do what you want with it, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I say I don't care what people say. I really don't. And sometimes we've got to care less about these minutiae, these small problems, and just say, yeah, that's gone, leave it. Because sometimes when people don't hear from you, that's when they care more. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to explain anything that you say. It's people are too invested in BS on this platform. And that's one thing that I am shocked at. That's why I think I'm living in a parallel universe when I'm on this platform. I think this is a show.
Definitely giving Twilight Zone. It's definitely giving Twilight Zone. I'll tell you that.
Honestly, I think I got a part in the show, and I didn't even audition for it.
Where is
But
our money?
anyway,
Run check. How can we be on the scene of a show and we are characters in this daggone show and we ain't getting no residuals? We need our check.
yeah,
We need our money.
yeah. But I mean, what did you think about this interview, though?
I love it. I love each and every moment of it. We can play a little bit more of it if you want to. Probably about maybe just 10 more minutes of it. Because she's about to talk about something that I think is really important
Yeah,
for us to hear.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then we'll
Let's
wrap
play 10 more minutes, and then let's wrap up, because I think we've kept the peoples a long
we have
time.
and you stay up very late to come and join us. So yeah, we gotta let everybody go. So 10 more minutes and we out of here, y'all. We out. All right, let's go.
Mhm.
I didn't have an episode with her. No.
Whatever you guys talked about, that's what
Led
that's
to
what
that.
yeah,
It
that
led
led
to
to
that.
us.
Yeah.
And she was like, unless they specifically ask for your opinion, don't offer it. People need to come to their truth how they come to it. And it's not up to us to steer them in any one direction, because then we have to get into our need for control. What is that about?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
I love that you saw our conversation. And I mean, I know you know her and you have a relationship with her, but I love that it sparked another conversation. That literally.
No, it sparked a lot of conversation. She was there for a few hours.
Wow.
And just, there's a wisdom that she has gleaned from her life.
Yeah.
That she has just, she has so much to offer. And you really,
it was my first and one of my favorites. Yeah, for sure. I learned so much from that. Somebody was just asking me the other day about, like, they always ask, what's your favorite anime? I'm like, I can't say. It's really hard to, it's just, we're all just trying, man. We're all just like, I'm trying to do a show. She's trying to survive her situation, and she's learned so much along the way. And to me, like, that's all we could do is show up with what we have to offer on that day, share our experiences in a way that we hope lands in a positive way for someone else. And
I mean, well, none of us should be having to suffer in silence or feel like you're suffering alone. Like, no one could possibly understand this. It's like, it helps to talk about it, whether it's like sparked from a podcast. It's like, I think I need help with this. How do you move through the world? How do you get up every day? What does joy look like to you? What does justice look like to you? Like, how? Do you have tools? You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because we have to learn those and ask those questions for ourselves. But then you take you, for instance, or any of us who are moms. Now you also have to do it as a parent. You as a mother, I think, is an interesting topic, because no, you're really a lovely mother. Like, you worked so hard to be a mother, and you're like this amazing mother, not only to Kavya, but to all of your kids, your bonus children. I don't know what you call them. Do you call them stepkids? Just your kids?
The kids.
They're just the kids?
just the kids, yeah.
But I mean, you worked to be a mother. It wasn't just the easy. For some women, it's too easy. It's like they get pregnant, somebody flirts with them and they're pregnant. Like you really worked for that and struggled. And you do it in such a meaningful, intentional kind of way. Just watching you with Kav, and I just wonder what it's changed for you, what you've learned about yourself as becoming a mom. And
well, they watch every single thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like Kav said the other day, why do you wear wigs all the time? And I was like, well, mommy goes to work and I have to be different characters. And sometimes I wear wigs to try it out before I commit to the look. She was like, oh.
That's it.
But in her mind, why wasn't I happy with how I looked when I preached that to her? You know what I mean? I'm like, I love your curls. Oh my gosh, your hair's so beautiful. And she was like, yeah, I think your hair's beautiful too. How come you got a wig on? You know what I mean?
She gonna check you.
She gonna check me, boo. Yeah. And like there was one day, it was me, her, and Dee driving the car. And I was like, oh, can you wear your hair like half up, half down? Like that's like one of my favorite looks. And she was like, I don't really want to do that. And I was like, oh, come on. She was like, I thought it was my hair. And Dee goes, oh. But I'm teaching her how to advocate for herself and have agency over her own body. And, if it's her hair, who cares? It's not like,
right.
But that figuring out like, when do you like force your will on your child? And when do you offer options? Just like trying to find those balances.
Yeah.
And also, she's very much a leader at home, but at school she can follow the crowd, and helping her find her voice. Where I'm like, you don't have to do that just because your friend told you to.
Yeah.
Well, I want her to play with me at recess. I was like, ooh, it starts early. Do this so we can be friends. Do that so I can love you. Do this, and it's like, it seems like, oh, it's harmless, but it's a pattern where you start just being
people pleasing,
shape shifting to fit in, and shape shifting and doing whatever, people pleasing to get the invite, to have access. And it's like, oof, once you start, it's hard to stop.
She's so great though.
She's awesome.
Do you ever worry about her? Because I look at like, the famous kids, Blue Ivy and North, and I see the way people talk to these children, children. Then they have so many people have opinions about children.
So many opinions.
Do you worry about that for you? Even Zaya, because she's been such like she's a poster child somewhat at this point. Like, do you ever, I don't know, concerns or regrets of having them so public?
Well, with Zaya, that was her choice. She did not like people dead naming her, and we were like, we can correct people, but it kind of opens up a whole other can of worms. And she was like, I want them to use my name. And we were like, okay, well, this is how we could do this, but it's really going to open up a whole can of worms. Like you can't, put it back. Yeah. And she was very determined.
Yeah.
And so that sort of opened the door for her speaking out and being very clear about her identity and her confidence and comfort in it. And we support her being her full true self.
Yeah.
We would have probably been more comfortable where, she waited a couple years, but it's years of her parents doing a ton of interviews where they're speaking of her with a name that she does not recognize. And so I respect it. I absolutely respect it. And every kid is different. Like every child is different. And, it is what it is. And you rally, you know what I mean? You offer support. Like Kav, because I had talked so much about my infertility, and we were so overjoyed, and so many people, like strangers, wanted me to be pregnant so badly. And it was like, and I remember we were on our way to some event in New York, and I was, I think I was in the middle of an IVF cycle, and I looked 2 months pregnant, or second trimester pregnant. And people, like the page 6 was like, she's pregnant. And people were so happy. And it led to a miscarriage. It didn't lead to, obviously it didn't lead to a live birth. And so when she was finally born and home, I was like, I want to share with people that, you know, we keep hope alive, and here's our beautiful baby. And this is the route I had to go. And these are the reasons. And then she just had such funny faces.
I know.
She's
such a good personality.
You know, and now it's.
All right, y'all. So we're going to stop it right there. We're going to do our final commentary, of course, and end the live with a bop per usual, or a few bops per usual. But yeah, we're going to stop right there, y'all. We don't want to hold y'all too long because we're moving very close to the 3-hour mark now, which was supposed to be shorter than that. But we got about 15 minutes more. So we'll just go ahead and get our thoughts and our commentary when it comes to what we heard and what, you know, was said in this segment. And then we will wrap it up. Imani, I'll let you go first. You want to lead on this one?
Yeah, I mean, she's talking about her fertility problems, really, and talking about Zaya's decision to live openly according to her identity. And really, something that she says that's important is supporting children means allowing them to become their authentic selves rather than the parents expected them to be, which is really important. It is really, really important. Um, and sharing that and sharing her infertility struggles is really good to encourage people facing similar struggles, because they're both really big struggles. You know, her daughter's identity, you know, and um, all the criticism she got for that, she and her husband got for that. Um, you know, um, you have to live according to what you feel. You have to look at your own children and not be swayed by what public opinion is. And that must have been very, very hard for them, you know, because there was a lot of backlash about that. You know, this is really about advocating for your children, and being, you know, advocating for their authenticity and supporting their decisions, and raising confident children. It requires honesty from the parents, and, you know, respecting your kids' autonomy, although it may be not what you wanted for them, and in supporting your children through their journeys, which is really important. Really, really important. I mean, I would tell people to go and watch the whole interview. We haven't had time. Um, you know, she doesn't separate her public life from her personal values. Whether she's discussing her activism, her family, her parenting, or social issues, she really, really carries her personal, you know, some of it's been at a personal cost, but she protects her family. She's acknowledging receiving threats because of her advocacy, but, you know, you can't carry the world's problems. You have to focus on your own sometimes. And you know, she talks about long-term relationships in this, and raising children who feel safe and supported. You know, I think this is a really, really, really great interview. And she also talks about setting healthy boundaries and allowing the children to develop their own voices. It's really important. It's important to set healthy boundaries, to respond to what you need to, and don't respond where you don't need to, and protecting your peace and your family's peace, and limiting the access to to some people who don't really don't care about you. They don't care about you. You have to care about yourself and your family, and F the rest of the world. But, you know, it's a great conversation because she's resilient and she's not pretending everything's been fine. She's, you know, continuing to be truthful about her PTSD and her healing, and finding peace in in the midst of many adversities. So I thought this was great. Once again, her success isn't measured by her fame or her achievement, but being emotionally to healthy enough to enjoy the life that she's worked really hard to build. I think it's a great interview. Once again, Angie does it again. That's what I got from this interview.
Angie does it again, girl. Angie does it again. Child, she does it over and over again. Child, she don't miss no shots. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap it up, okay? And get the people up out of here. It's about Saturday evening here, Eastern time, in the United States. It's about 6:32 p.m. So people have things they want to do with their weekend. And for lovely beauties like you, my lovely co-host Imani, child, it's even later for you, okay? So thank you so much for joining me and rocking with me and kicking with me this late. But let's go ahead and wrap this up so we can get the people up out of here. I do have a few things I'm going to share. We're going to end it with a bops or a few bops as usual. So this 3-part series has now come to a close, y'all. We will not be doing a part 4. If you guys want to check out any of the remainder of the interviews that we've seen on this 3-part series, y'all know where y'all can get them. Over on Angie Martinez YouTube channel and podcasting platform. I don't want this to just be another stream for you guys, though. Okay? You watched, and I don't want you to walk away without anything. So I want today to be the day your transformation actually begins. So let's look at the tapestry of everything we talked about over these last 3 shows. We had Charlamagne the God and how he showed us that no matter how messy your past was, radical honesty and accountability can turn your life into a masterpiece. We had Tabitha Brown who showed us that you don't have to burn yourself out, sell your soul, or live in a cage of survival mode just to prove your worth. And we also had Gabrielle Union who showed us that no matter what trauma or dark night of the soul you've been through, you are worthy of specialized healing, safe spaces, and stepping boldly into your peaceful era. Now, my message to you, all of you out there, we have to learn how to stop waiting for permission to change our lives. Stop letting channel strikes, health issues, broken relationships, or technical difficulties convince you that you are defeated. You're still breathing. You're still here. That means that the creator is not finished writing your story. So starting today, y'all, forgive yourself for what you didn't know back then. Set hard boundaries. Put the burdens that were never yours to carry to the side. Listen to your body. Protect your spirit and choose peace over chaos. You were built to withstand the storm. You have the resilience to pivot, and you have the power to step into the highest version of yourself. So walk with your head held high, live in intention, and keep shining your bright light. We love y'all, and we appreciate y'all, each and every one. And let's now go out there in the world and live with purpose. All right, y'all. That's my final thoughts and my final things to say. Do you have a few things to add, Imani, before we end it with a boppity boppity bop bop bop?
Yeah, I'll just tag on the end of what you said because you put it so succinctly. Like Golden said, Charlemagne challenged us to confront ourselves. He reminded us that healing begins with honesty. You cannot heal from what you refuse to acknowledge. And growth starts when you stop blaming everyone else for your circumstances and start asking yourself, what do I need to change? And that applies to every one of us. And Tabitha reminding us that kindness isn't weakness. In a world that often rewards loudness, conflict, and controversy, she's shown you can lead with grace, compassion, and authenticity. And she's also built a global platform, not by tearing people down, but by lifting people up. And that's a reminder that you never have to sacrifice your character to achieve your dreams. And Gabrielle Union shared something equally powerful. Healing is a journey, not a destination. She spoke openly about pain, rejection, trauma, motherhood, marriage, and finding peace. She also reminded us that our scars are not signs that we are broken. They're evidence that we've survived. And they tell a story of resilience rather than defeat. And when you put those three conversations together, a bigger picture emerges. Life's going to disappoint you. People will misunderstand you. Some people will celebrate your success while others will resent it. Some people will clap when you enter the room and others will hope you never make it through the door. But your responsibility is not to manage everybody else's opinion. Your responsibility is to manage your own heart, protect your peace, protect your integrity, protect your joy, and never allow bitterness to become your personality because someone else chose negativity. And one of the greatest freedoms is life, is when you stop trying to convince people who have already decided to misunderstand you, because some people are committed to misunderstanding you, because their growth reminds them of what they have refused to confront in themselves. So don't let that become your burden. Just keep growing, keep learning, keep forgiving, not because everyone deserves it, but because you deserve the freedom that forgiveness brings. And I love you guys. We'll see you soon. Take care and have a really, really great weekend. And that's it for me.
Thank you, girl. And I just want to tell you before you leave that, excellent, excellent work. Like I said, it's the 50-50 when it comes to, our co-host shows that we do. And you provide so much, girl. You provide so much. And I appreciate each and every moment of it. And child, we about to let y'all go. So Golden.
And I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too. I appreciate everything you do, finding these interviews, giving me something to yabber on about. See you guys.
All right, girl, we're going to go ahead and sign off and let the people go. What's up, Daisy? Thank you for coming in and joining. Catch the replay. You say, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Even if anyone catches the replay, that's appreciated as well. So thank y'all so much for all of your love and support and coming to just kick it with us for a little bit. Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night for you, in whatever respectful time zone you're in. I hope it's wonderful. And we're going to go ahead and end it with a little boppity bop, y'all. This is Golden and Imani, and y'all know Mama Worry in the background signing out. Bye.
Everybody got a panel. Everybody got a problem. Let's talk about it. Why everybody beefing? Nobody believing. Everybody scheming. Everybody streaming. Started as a work, now the whole thing bleeding. Fake friends switch sides every season. New face, new team, new lie every evening. Everybody hungry for the clicks and the reasons. Views up, drama get the views up. Look, everybody suddenly a journalist now. Microphone tough with the filters and cloud. They don't even know what the culture about. Just smell a little smoke, then it rain in the house. Boxing sector looking WWE. Fake press conference turn reality TV. Started with a live stream, now they selling PPV. Best friends yesterday, now they scream RIP. Cat ding ding ding, another fake rivalry. Cameraman zoom while they build hostility. Comments get toxic, ego get slippery. Now the work turn real and destroy the chemistry. Used to throw punches in the ring for sport. Now they throw friends under buses for support. Everybody got receipts and folders and reports. Whole sector acting like spiritual court. Site TC spilling all over timeline. Screenshots, leak calls, everybody prime time. No context, just captions and headlines. So get traded for algorithm deadlines. And I ain't saying everybody fake, but let's be honest, peace don't pay. Or we worked it out, get ignored all day, but I exposed him, get 100K. Why everybody beefing? Nobody believing. Everybody scheming, everybody streaming. Started as a work, now the whole thing bleeding. Fake friends switch sides every season, switch sides. New face, new tea, new lie every evening. Everybody hungry for the clicks and the reasons. Views up, drama See the algorithm hunters lurking in the dark, jumping in beefs just to build up a spark. Never put work in, never had heart. Now they commentary kings from a Walmart cart. Everybody got an inside source now. Everybody got a truth exposed now. Soon as the views dip low, somehow they manufacture anger just to go viral. It's a circus with ring lights. People losing real friends over click bites. Whole panel screen fights every midnight. Then they text backstage like, you good, right? Girl, bye. But the fans can't tell where the script ends. Creators crash out just to trend again. You can see the pain underneath the grin. Souls exhausted, but they live stream again. How many friendships gotta die for content? How many people gotta bleed for engagement? How many ops y'all gonna create before y'all realize the audience addicted to the chaos too? And the algorithm know it. Why everybody beefing, nobody believing, everybody scheming, everybody streaming. Whole internet war, but nobody winning. Everybody loud, but nobody listening. Cloud bottom spiraling, crashing, tripping, turning fake smoke into real life endings. Views up, drama get the views up. Maybe the real fight ain't each other. Funny how the rules change, depending on who holding the microphone. Ain't justice, it's popularity. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Everybody dancing to the spotlight hit. Same people scream peace to promote that ish. Talking about moles with a mouth full of life. Throwing stones all day while they live in disguise. One side cry, other side don't. Same blood spill, but they act like it won't. Selected with the tears, selected with the rage. Truth get buried underneath internet praise. Real streets cold, better watch your six. Fake love disappear when the views don't click. Everybody judge from a live stream chair. Never touch the pain, but they swear they care. Posting black squares, posting hashtags. Soon as cameras leave, they go right back. Everybody got a cake for their favorite name. If the enemy do it, then it's all blame. How you screaming justice, but justice got a price? How you preaching loyalty, then switching overnight? Hypocrite. I can see right through the counterfeit. Talking loud, but your actions never fit. Different rules depending who committing it. Hypocrite. You're only angry when it's benefiting. Turn your pain into a competition. Truth don't care about your politicians. Hypocrite. Everybody wanna judge, nobody wanna fit. Now let's talk YouTube, yeah, the digital block. Everybody chasing algorithms now. Selling fake beef just to make them bow. Clicks over character every single day. Then wonder why respect them faded away. Building little armies, calling folks sheep. Meanwhile, everybody's stealing everybody's speech. Fake investigations, fake receipts. Half the channels living off recycled tweets. If your favorite do it, it's misunderstood. If somebody else do it, man, they no good. It's selective outrage, not selective grades. Different energy depending on the person's face. Cancel one, celebrate another. Call one queen, then destroy her sister. They don't want accountability, they want entertainment. They monetize the vision and call it engagement. I'm from where survival wasn't just a phrase. Where silence could decide your final days. So miss me with the act, miss me with the skits. Real life ain't a comment section. Hypocrite. See the real streets told me every move cost. Some play the ultimate lock. Mama praying hard while them sirens scream. Baby storing up to just somebody else's dream. Now the YouTube streets got the same disease. Everybody selling outrage by the piece. Build you up, break you down, repeat. Bogus controversy paying all the fees. Truth ain't trending, lies so viral. Everybody running circles in the spiral. Cloud got people trading souls for applause. And corner scriptures while they breaking every law. If you really want it healing, we stop it ourselves. Instead of putting everybody else's life on the shelf. Mirror don't lie when you're facing it. Can't Photoshop your character. Can't filter your integrity. We recognize what's counterfeit. The streets watching, God watching, everything documented. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the internet remembers, but God remembers everything. So before you point another finger, count the ones pointing back at you. Yeah. Hypocrite. Another mystery. Another performance. Another disappearing act. Open the file. I'm not guessing. I'm observing. Let's investigate. Whole squad acting somebody else cut. Oscar-worthy speeches, but the facts ain't up. Every conversation got deleted scenes. Y'all Photoshop stories till they fit your dreams. You call it strategy, I call it hide and seek. Truth don't need PR. Truth just speak facts. Everybody Sherlock till the clues get real. Now they buffering harder than a bad Wi-Fi reel. Talking in circles, running in loops, looking like GPS constantly saying recalculating route. If confidence was currency, you'd probably be rich. But receipts don't lie, and neither does the glitch. I see it, I do. Every plot, every pivot, every costume, every gimmick. You keep changing, I stay winning. Truth got X-ray vision, can't hide in it. Nope, case closed, ink dry, might drop by. You playing checkers, I'm mapping chess. 3 moves ahead, you still making a mess. Trying to guess like wrong address. I brought high beams, you brought guests. You sell smoke, I'm buying facts. You selling stories, I'm checking stats. Numbers, every fake narrative got an expiration date. Mine got a passport, yours can't leave the gate. Your whole operation built on copy and paste. Microwave opinions, no original taste. Dang, trying to play genius, forgot one thing. Real intelligence never got to scream. Queens move quiet, the board gets loud. Watch the truth stand up while the lies bow down. I see it, I do. Every plot, every pivot, every costume, every gimmick. You keep changing, I stay winning. Truth got X-ray vision, can't hide in it. No, wait. This ain't anger, this ain't anger, this anthropology. Watching human behavior like sociology. Patterns don't lie, people repeat. Different costumes, same defeat. Your poker face folded before the flop. Truth kicked the door, didn't even knock. Boom, you chasing headlines, I'm writing history. By the time you solve it, I solved a mystery. Telegraph, too easy. Every joke, write itself. Every mask, come off eventually. Truth don't need popularity, only consistency. Facts, the lights came on, the curtains lifted. The plot got spoiled, the script got shifted. No magnifying glass, no lucky guess. Just a queen who noticed the obvious. Some people chase attention, some people chase truth. Know the difference. Case closed. I see it. They don't know her like I do. Nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blur. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know her like I. She goes by golden. Soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know her. Too much grace for the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they got it. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Mirror tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace while the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hot and being hidden addiction. Still soft-hearted, but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love where there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself, chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through this room. Still sad. Still dangerous. Still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pens-in-the-matic. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still got